Hey folks, Ryan here from Mr. L's Gaming Rants and Reviews, and we're not ranting or reviewing today. Well, maybe just a little bit. Here, we'll sprinkle it in every now and then. But we're doing a playthrough today, and this is the first time that I'm doing a live playthrough with three other guests, three other amazing content creators in the board gaming space here. Tim, Board Game Hot Takes, Riley from the Board Game Community Show, and David from All Games New and Old. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thanks for having us.
All
Excited
right.
to play.
Awesome. We'll just do a quick rundown. We'll go Tim, Riley, David, just because that's how it's appearing on my screen currently. Just kind of give a quick shout out who you are, where can people find you, and what's your experience with the Castles of Burgundy?
Yeah, thanks. So Tim from Board Game Hot Takes. We're a podcast. You can find us on anywhere you listen to podcasts. Also, we're on Twitter, BG_Hot Takes. Me and my co-hosts interact there all the time. So come out, chat with us, hang out there. Our show is all about playing a game and then immediately discussing it. So I'm excited to play this game with you for the first time tonight. First game of Castles of Burgundy. No, I'm just kidding. This is about my 100th recorded play of Castles of Burgundy. So I do have a bit of experience with Castles of Burgundy, mostly with the original 2011 edition, few games with the 20th anniversary edition, which I despise. But plenty of experience here, and I'm excited to prove that to you guys tonight.
Oh, the challenge has just been thrown down. Dang.
Yeah. Now I'd better win, or I'm in.
Yeah, can you defeat the most experienced player here?
Yeah.
What year do you think was your first game?
I probably picked this game up in 2018 or so.
Oh, okay.
I was just getting, heavily getting into the hobby, and this was a game that just kept coming up on best of lists and stuff like that. And I remember seeing it on Amazon for like $20 at the time, and I'm like, I can't pass that up.
Cool.
Loved it ever since.
Nice.
Right on. You're up, Riley.
I guess me now, right? Yeah, I'm Riley Stock. I am the host of the Board Game Community Show. All three of these friends have been on it at least once. Ryan, have you been on twice yet?
No, I've only been on once.
Well, soon. We've talked about getting you on again soon.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Excited to have you on again. All of you will be on again. I mean, we're all tight. So anyways, I'm rambling. This is exactly what the podcast is like. It's rambling and casual conversation with friends and people I don't know, and making it feel like these people, these content creators, these designers, all these different people throughout the industry are the types of people that you could have and play a game with at your table. And yeah, it's just a different kind of interview where Tim brags about, we're very focused. And we only talk about board games. Like, I'm the opposite. I'm like, we go on rants.
and I've been on, like, Riley and I can talk for like 3+ hours on any given evening about any random topics. Oh, and so he invited me back on. He says, we're going to do like a half an hour, 40-minute episode. I'm like, that's not possible. I don't do short interviews.
Yeah, I think we'll probably try and stop it. It'll probably end up being like an hour and a half, and then we'll keep talking for 2 or 3 more hours after.
And what's your experience with the Castles of Burgundy?
Oh, right, yeah. Pretty new. I think this is my 4th game. Well, I guess I'm halfway through a game, an async game with some other people, and so this is like 4th or 5th. I don't know. I haven't finished that other game. Does that count?
Riley's gonna crush us.
Yeah, exactly. Most experienced player.
And David, welcome, David.
Oh, thank you. So I'm David Rodriguez from the All Games New and Old YouTube channel. We do reviews, unboxings, some other random stuff. We have the worst possible guests, which is why none of you guys have been on the show. I don't want people to confuse the quality of you guys with the quality of my usual guests. They're terrible, but that's okay. Actually, I would like to have any of you on the show, except for I need to figure out how to do this sorcery that Ryan's doing with like the various screens. I don't know how to do it yet. I'm sure it's not that hard, but I have not figured it out. So enough rambling about cameras. That's not very exciting. So as far as Castles of Burgundy, I only played it for the first time, I don't know, maybe a month or so ago. I'm not sure, on BGA. I have never played it in person. And let's see. I don't think I've won a game. I don't believe. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't believe I have. So it's tough because I've been playing it on my phone mostly. So I don't actually know like what a lot of the tiles do. It's always been like, I guess I'll get this yellow one. I hope that's cool. Like every once in a while I get to do a turn or two on the computer. So that kind of helps. I can actually see what I'm accomplishing. So we'll see what happens here. I don't know if I'm going to beat 100 plays over there, but
Well, David, the good news is that playing on your phone is just like playing in real life for the first 20 times because there's no tool tips and you don't know what any of these things do because the iconography is terrible on it. So,
oh, good, fantastic.
Got the same experience I did with my first dozen plays.
Pretty cool. And of course, if you're watching this, you probably know who I am. But Ryan, Mr. L's Gaming Rants and Reviews. I'm ranting. I'm reviewing things. My experience with the Castles of Burgundy is I'm probably the middle ground here. I'm not up to like 100 plays Tim level, but I'm not brand new at this. I've owned this game for quite a while. I got into the hobby probably way back in about 2011, 2012. And I think I picked this up probably around like 2015. But I haven't played it like an extraordinary amount of time. Probably about 50 plus plays though. So I'm probably about that middle ground. My record against my wife, though, is a very large margin losing record because she can like mind map this thing like crazy and just like knows all the combos, knows the best starting spaces. I should actually call her down right now and say where I should put my starting castle on the screen here and there because, but I don't know. I think I'm going to switch the screen over. How do I do that again? Right here. There we go. And now everybody except for these folks are going to be staring at their own screens. I've got the Castles of Burgundy up, and I believe we're all selecting kind of where our first castle is going to go. Unless if people have already done that.
Already done, Ryan.
I'm not done yet. I'm slacking over here. All right.
Oh, gosh. So everybody can kind of see. I'm going to zoom in on mine here. People can see where my starting castle choices are. And
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
How much of a strategy do you put into this castle placement? Like I always, if there's a center option, I always just go for the center.
No, there's a skill to it. One of the things you want to set yourself up to is it can change per map, of course. But what I'm usually looking for is how many different types of territory can I hit early so I don't get blocked out? But also how many small segments are you close to? Because you get more points in the first rounds for closing them out, right? So if you can get next to a couple 1 or 2 size rounds, they're a lot easier to close out early and get those early bonus points. So definitely some strategy involved there.
Thanks.
Right. So I've got a board. I'll describe my board before everybody can see it. My board is the one that's made up of a whole bunch of just little areas. I don't have one big area. I think the biggest areas on this are 3 size. So it's just a whole bunch of small areas. So my thinking is I'm going to put my castle right next to one of these little guys right here. And I'm going to be able to close out a whole bunch of them, hopefully in the first round. Type deal. And
so when Ryan looks like he's destroying us after the first round, don't worry, guys. We'll have a chance to catch up.
Right. You're going to close in some bigger areas later on. And
we'll see.
That is one of my favorite things about Castle Burgundy as a point salad type of game is that, everything does give you points, but it varies a lot. And you see a lot of shifting and scoring over the game. I hate when you play a point salad game where everybody just kind of like every turn, everyone moves up 3 points, 3 points, 3 points. And it feels like you haven't really had any big moves. And Castle Burgundy gets you that opportunity to leap ahead sometimes or have that big move at the end and really catch up. So it's always fun to see that score shift around.
Okay. So.
Yeah, especially from this angle, when I'm checking in just occasionally on my phone, usually I'm always like, oh, what the heck happened? How did this person suddenly do that? And oh man.
And so just to give a noob answer. So like, I've got 2 water tiles next to each other. If I fill just those in, do I score points right there?
Yeah. So the way the scoring works is that you get points if you look up in the top left of the main board, right? And you see it's A, B, C, D, E. The points underneath it is how many points, the bonus points you get for filling in no matter what size region you're in. So in the first round, if you fill in a region, you're going to get 10 points. If you do it in the last round, you're only going to get 2 points. But then you also get the points for the size of the region, which is in the bottom left of the main board. And so obviously you're still going to get a lot of points later in the game for filling a big region. But if you fill a size 1 region in the last round, it's only 3 points. So it's drastic different depending on when you do it in the game.
This is game changing.
Right?
I've noticed when I play on BGA, I learn about half the rules, and then we're like, well, it's not going to let me do anything I can't, so it'll be fine from here.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it works for me. So.
Cool. All right. I don't even know who's. Did it say who was selected as first player?
We're still waiting for. Yeah, well, the first player is going to be the top of the boat track. So
there it is. There's the boat track.
All games.
Yeah,
this is my
no
first.
Pressure, David.
This is my first play on BGA.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I haven't played this on BGA yet, so okay.
It sounds like you're making excuses already, Ryan.
Yeah.
Hey, got to sneak them in every now and I can. Oh, what? I'm last? Oh, this is got to. I got to. Oh, now I didn't put my castle in a good place to get away from being last.
Oh.
And the funny thing is that the turn order is actually decided before you place your castle, so you actually know that if you know how.
If I would have actually looked at the screen. Okay, so exactly. So I'm starting in a deficit.
All right, I'm picking. This is where I win or lose this game right here.
Yeah.
I can
Opening move. This dictates it all.
Yeah, I got to do this right, or it's all over for me. Okay.
Oh, at least I start with lots of workers. I start with lots of workers.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about starting later.
All right.
Oh, wow. That was a very fast move.
Oh, he selected a couple tiles.
Yeah, all right.
Knowledge tile that gets him 4 points per, what is that, church?
Castle, yeah.
Castle.
Or church, right, you're right.
And then,
church.
Of course, 2 pigs.
Yeah.
Got to get the pigs.
All right.
Do you guys know how the animal scoring works? Do you have a good handle on that?
I am still confused about that, and I've read it several times.
Like animals, right?
So this is important. So animals score when you place an animal tile, you get points equal to the number of animals on that tile and animal tiles in the same region of the same type of animal. So if you take a 2 pig tile, it's going to be worth 2 points, but then the next tile you place of pigs in that region, let's say it's a 3 pig tile, you'd add the 3 pigs on the tile you just placed plus the 2 pigs on the one you previously placed, you get 5 points. So the more animals on the tile, the better, but also if you can, fill in a region with one type of animal, you're going to get a bunch of escalating points over the course of the game.
Okay.
Nice.
All right, Riley.
Okay. All right. I did it.
All right.
You did a thing.
Guys,
he went and got knowledge.
Taking all my starting.
You guys are taking all of the knowledge tiles? What?
Sons of guns.
The knowledge tiles feel very important to me.
Yeah.
Holy
It's always interesting to seeing the different knowledge tiles. Like in another game, I was waiting for a specific tile to come up and it never did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you will not see in a 4-player game. Obviously, you're going to see a lot more than you would in a 2 or 3-player game, but you will not see everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's like you can't put all your eggs in one basket.
No.
Yeah.
No. Which is another thing I love about this game. It's kind of tactical. You kind of have to, use what you got and try to take advantage of it. It's always fun to me.
Yeah. Absolutely.
When I first played against Riley, I was he hadn't played before, I believe, and I'd gotten pretty far ahead of him, and I was like, oh man, I feel almost kind of bad. And then like he'd been really focusing on those knowledge tiles, and suddenly when the end scoring came, he like got ahead of me by like a few points. I was like, what? Where'd this come from? But yep.
Yeah, I think I scored like 75 points or something in
that
amazing. At the end game.
That's so satisfying. Cool. That's so satisfying to do.
Yep.
Pull out the big turn. The really big shoe. I'm just scrolling right now on the screen here, just taking a look at everybody's. They call them duchies. Everybody's duchy.
Yeah. Duchy, estate. David and I discussed it, and we like kingdom. Like, why wouldn't you call it a kingdom? Doesn't that feel pretty thematic?
Sure.
I guess you have multiple castles in it. I don't. Tim, you look like you might.
I was just going to say I have no idea what the correct historical wording for a kingdom at that time, or what this region means. I assume duchies are part of a larger kingdom, would be my assumption. I think in this game you're supposed to be princes running your duchies more successfully to gain the favor of your father, maybe, I don't know, and be the best prince.
That is okay. Would not have gotten that from playing.
Oh, you didn't catch the theme here? The theme didn't come through properly?
Yeah, no.
It's a heavily thematic game.
It's got to be Stefan Feld's most thematic game, right?
I assume that there is an expansion where you have to like marry a princess to join kingdoms. No.
I think there's a storybook expansion somewhere.
There's an expansion with comfort houses, which I believe are essentially brothels. So there is that. And then there's also, are they call them pleasure houses maybe?
The pleasure garden.
That's right.
But I do have to say though, there is an expansion. I don't know, Ryan, if you played this, there's an expansion called Trade Routes.
Yep.
And it is the best expansion. Like we never play without it. You can't on BGA, unfortunately. It will be coming in the deluxe edition that's up on Kickstarter right now. But it's so cool. It basically gives you a bunch of random spaces to put your trade tiles when you buy them. Mm-hmm. And so when you sell them, so when you sell trade tiles, instead of just dumping them on your mat upside down, you put them like in this row of spaces. And if they match the color, you get a bonus that's on that space. So it makes it a lot more fun puzzle about which goods you're trying to pick up and when you're placing goods to try to optimize and get a bonus for them. Really, really improves I think the biggest weakness of the game was always the disconnect of the goods tiles. Like they don't feel like they fit into the rest of the game. And this makes it fit in because every time you hit one of the colors accurately, it gives you a bonus that interacts with the rest of the board. So super fun expansion. If you get a chance, you should try it.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, I'm picking things.
No worries.
I put my castle right on some waterfront property, and so I don't want to mess with my view too much.
Yeah.
I really put a lot of thought into my turns.
Like if you put a watchtower, then it's going to be blocking that gorgeous view of your what do you have there? Mines.
Yeah. We gotta. They're pretty mines. They're not like the dirty gray ones you usually think.
That's how you win. That's how you win this game. Is you got to think of the most logical places that these structures need to go.
Yeah, exactly.
You win by theme points, guys. Just go with that. Just make your duchy the most thematic you can, and you're good.
Okay, let's see.
You want lots of different animals in your farm, right? Lots of different types of animals. That's the way to go. You got a nice diverse farm down there.
Only if you get the knowledge tile that rewards you for different animals.
My farms are just petting zoos, so we want to make sure the kids are interested and happy with it. So you don't want to have all the same thing; it gets boring. Okay.
And there we go.
Okay. You would think that I would be 100% ready by now, but
David jumps into the lead with 13 points.
It is really painful the first round if you're in the third or fourth position in this game because the tiles go so fast because everyone's just buying tiles, and so you're going to find by the fourth or fifth round in this first round. I don't know how you rounds. I don't know, but anyway, once we get to about the fourth turn in, like Ryan and I will have nothing to pick from because it will just get picked clean. It starts to improve over the next few rounds, but it's pretty rough early.
Yeah, I could see that.
I was just lamenting for poor Ryan back in the back there.
Because he wasn't paying attention where he put his starting castle. This is just reminding me of a game of brass that I played not too long ago. And it was just like, I totally fudged up a rule really, really early on. And it set me in such a deficit for the rest of the game. I'm lamenting that this is exactly that exact same. Me putting that castle, I don't know if I can recover.
Well, when David and I played, I obviously just put my castle somewhere. I didn't even know that you had to build next to, an already built tile. And so I was like, why can't I build over here? Trying to figure it out. And finally realized, I have to build out.
Right.
What if real life gaming was like how people play on Board Game Arena? Like everyone just sat down and just started placing stuff, this component looks like it fits here. Let me try that.
That is actually how I play games. So it's
nice. I'm sure that goes well.
You know, I don't win. I mean, if that's what you mean by going well, then
You know, our
no.
channel is all about playing a game and then talking about it immediately after. And that means a lot of the time we are playing the game for the first time and then we discuss it after. And so it's, you know, there's no doubt that we've gotten dozens of rules wrong in the games that we've discussed and reviewed. And we try to kind of make corrections on that later if it's something serious. But it feels like in this hobby is so interesting. Like almost nobody's going to have a good first game. Like, you know, both either getting the rules wrong or not understanding the strategy and completely, you know, screwing yourself. So it's like, it's a hobby where the first time you engage in this form of entertainment, it's not going to be the best experience. And then it'll get better from there. It's interesting.
Yeah. Cause we always chalk up always those first games as, oh, that's the learning game.
Yeah.
That's the learning game. Like, we're just going to spend a couple hours learning the game so that, like, you know, next weekend we can actually enjoy the game.
Yeah. And I would say like that is one thing that I actually like consider quite a lot when I think about how much I like a game or how I review it, is that if it's got such a learning curve that it's going to take me several games to actually like be able to play the rules correctly, then it probably has too high of a rules overhead for the experience. So I'm really, after playing, you know, hundreds of games the last couple of years, I'm kind of really leaning towards like if something's got depth of strategy, but a very, you know, streamlined rule set, that's going to go a long way to making it a good experience.
Yeah.
What do you think of there's not a ton of games that do this, but there's a few where you'll have the rule book and it'll be like, okay, just read up to this point, and then, you know, like it's I don't know, it's kind of like a tutorial mode, and like I've had some good luck and some real bad luck with that too. Like
my experience with them have been pretty poor, because I think one of the reasons that I try to make an experience good is at least like whoever's teaching the game at least will put the effort into really learning the game first.
Right.
And so if the couple that I've done though with Charterstone is the most memorable, I think, and that was an early one that was trying to do that, I think. But I just remember like feeling so frustrated when we got to a spot where you unlock new rules and I didn't fully understand what it was trying to say. So I just felt bad about how I slowed the game down and had to try to kind of grok what it was all doing. And so I don't really like that generally, but maybe there's better examples. What, have you had any good experiences with it, David?
I don't know that I really have. I mean, other than games where, gosh, if I remember right, I could be wrong, but I think like, you know, Mansions of Madness kind of walks you through things. I think if you do that first scenario a bit, but that's so much is handled by the app that I mean, that's not really a very difficult game to get the hang of, I don't think. But my wife and I tried Folklore, The Affliction, which has that going on in the book, and we just kept having to look up things so often, and I don't think I've ever seen Hillary have less fun playing anything. And and it's like, well, okay, let's give this game a little rest, and then next time I'll actually try to make sure I get all the rules down, so I at least have a better chance of knowing them. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a nice idea, but I think it's kind of hard to execute.
Right.
I don't know if anybody else has had better luck.
I made a video not too long ago right about this exact topic about, and I was making a point that I thought more games should actually have a tutorial-ish mode in it. And it was inspired actually because Riley was talking about he wanted to introduce his wife to Ark Nova, because she seemed to be like she was really drawn to the theme, but you were I think a little hesitant on like the complexity of the game.
Yeah.
Right? Was that it? And I said, well, what if Ark Nova had kind of like a little training mode to it? Like you don't have like the massive stack of cards right at the very beginning, but you have like a curated stack of cards that kind of like just like kind of teaches the people the system of combo play and whatnots and tags and stuff like that. And then, you know, just like slowly like add more cards to the big deck type thing.
Did you see what Wingspan did in later printings where they added that quick start mode?
The quick start mode, yeah,
we used that.
Yeah, did that work pretty well for you? Where it kind of walked you through your first turns? Did you feel like that was helpful?
Oh yeah, especially for my wife. Though it got kind of confusing because it's like it's teaching one player about one thing and another player about a different thing. So you really have to pay attention to everybody's turn.
Okay.
Right.
So like it's not gonna walk me through personally doing every single type of action, but amongst the two of us, it's going to walk us through everything.
Yeah.
And so my wife was getting a little frustrated because she didn't understand that and being like, well, why did you get to do that and I can't, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, the concept of it's nice, and maybe it works well for some people. I think I would find it frustrating as well. I didn't actually use that, but I think it,
Yeah.
I would personally rather like internalize the rules, sit down, read the rule book, watch how to play video, and know how to teach the game and how to explain stuff before I start playing, rather than use something like that.
One game that did this extremely well, in my opinion, and I'm gonna actually talk about it probably about next month. We've been playing a game called That Time You Killed Me. Mm-hmm. It's from Pandasaurus Games. It's an abstract game, kind of very chess-like-ish. There's 3 boards. But there's 3 different kind of like modes of play. And what they get you to do is you get to play with one mode. And they say, play 3 games with this mode, understand the rules of this. Okay, now once you've played 3 games, go to this next mode. It's got completely different components. It plays completely differently. Play it 3 times. Go to the 3rd mode. It's got even more different components, even different rule set. Okay, and then the 4th thing in the rulebook that you unlock is, okay, this is what we intended. You mix and match these modules together. Mm-hmm. So now that you got the understanding of all of the different systems separately, well, now you can start combining them together for the full game experience. And I thought they did it really, really well in that way.
Well, a lot of legacy games do that. And like Clank Legacy was a great example where it slowly introduced you to new rules and expanded the playing space. And I think the problem with that was kind of like Charterstone, is that it did it mid-game a lot of the time. And so, it was great. Like, I love that game and it was a fun experience, but you did have to pause and basically read rules in the middle of a game. So it hits the pacing of the game a little bit. But I like when legacy games kind of introduce something at the end, at the end of the scenario. Like, hey, I got to the end of the scenario, open this box. Oh, here's a new rule that you're going to play with next time. And then you can kind of, read that and prep for the next game. And that's a fun way to introduce stuff a little bit at a time so that you build up to what the final version is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it's, I don't know if you consider a legacy game or not, I guess kind of, but like Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion, that's a great way to learn.
Yeah, that was an excellent, I agree. That the tutorial on that one was a great way. The first 5 games of that, where it was kind of introducing you a little bit of time, was such an easy and smooth way to play that game. And I played that game for like 10 scenarios, and then I took a break for a few months. I was going through moving and stuff like that. And I pulled it back out and tried to start from where I was. And it was heavy enough where I was like, man, it's going to... Then the problem was that the rule book wasn't written in a way to teach you the whole thing.
Right.
It was written so like, I'd be like, where can I look up this rule? And was it in the first 5 scenarios? Okay, I got to go back here and look at. So it didn't have kind of a comprehensive rule book to use after you had gone through the training. But the training mode was great on it. It really ramped me up super easy into how to play the game. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, it did it really well. Really, really well. I think that I used that as my main example in my video too, of like how that training can work to our advantage. Speaking of legacy, I would die for a Castles of Burgundy legacy. Can you imagine just like sticker over some of these tiles, like cover up a tile with a different like building completely or something like that? Add more animals to some of the pastures.
Let's do it.
Or even just change up your duchy. Like you can put a sticker on your duchy just to change some of those areas.
I'd be okay with that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I like it.
Who's listening? Awaken Realms. we want legacy.
The thing that always makes me sad about this game is I never finished and have like my entire board filled up. I just want to finish it. So it's like if you did a legacy one, maybe you could have more of an opportunity to actually, keep expanding and keep working on growing things out. But I don't know. That'd be fun though.
This game rides on what Tim does right now because he could totally screw up my turn.
Yeah.
Excellent. How could I do that?
Oh no, wait! I'm looking at his dice. Never mind.
Yeah, my dice. Well, my dice were bad.
Yeah,
but I dumped a few workers this turn. So here we go. What do you think?
He's gonna take.
Boom.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Oh wow.
First, it was a big one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he didn't do what I wanted.
Still sitting at 0 points though.
Tim going first.
Oh no, I'm not. I get 28 points. Okay.
Yeah.
I was looking at my silver count there. Yeah, you're right. Like, wait, how am I at 0 points? I filled in 2 regions already.
And I shall do. I'm just gonna sing out my turn.
That's nice.
And
We
I
can make this a
will.
deluxe episode. That'd be great.
Have you
And
guys
I
seen?
am going to
Burgundy
place this
musical?
tile into this spot
There's a-
with the one.
There's a couple of content creators that sing rules. I don't know if you guys know who Ambi Rona is, but she's a YouTube
Yeah.
creator.
Yes, yeah.
She
yeah.
does great like Disney parodies, but with like songs about board games. But great stuff, like really great content. But she also sometimes will do a short teach with singing the rules. And
Wow.
yesterday she shared a post of another guy that's saying like an opera mode of the rules to a board game, and it was so So I'm like, man, some people have way more skill and talent than I do. Amazing.
I have trouble just explaining using normal.
A la like David and his many hats that he wears during his reviews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if I had an inch of that creativity, the world would be my oyster. Rather, I just kind of sit here in my basement with an iPhone.
If I can self-martyr myself, I really do. I give myself a lot of pain because it may not be obvious, but I have a really big head, like a big head. Like if I wear a hat with the snaps on the back, I have to put on the last snap. And let me tell you, like costume hats and wigs and all that stuff, they don't come in big head size. So like, I'm like cramming it on, and when I'm done, I have like huge, like dark red creases across my head because I've been, cutting off circulation. It's amazing I don't pass out trying to do this stuff. It's a curse, man.
Well, no joke, David. I actually have the same exact issue, but it's funny to me because in my screen, my head looks massive compared to your guys' heads. So I think even worse. I think my camera's a little bit closer to yours. So what does that mean for me?
Everything.
I'm chubby, so it balances it out a little bit. Like it kind of looks like my head is the right size. Right? If I got really thin, and if like I wore white, I would look like a Tootsie Roll Pop. It'd be real thin, awful.
Yeah, but think of that. Then you got like a character without even touching up for it.
Yeah. Can I have like an owl puppet licking me? Like, how long does it take to get to the center? Okay.
Writing skits on the fly. Like
Starting to get weird now. So okay.
Well, that was our kind of little chat beforehand. We were like, is this going to turn into like an 18 plus show and everything like that? Or like, what did David say? Like strip Castles of Burgundy?
Yeah.
You can finally put that 18 plus tag on the show.
Yeah, there you go. Because everyone wants to see. I'm sure everyone's excited to see me strip.
Us
take off my shirt, look like
us late,
hey, David,
40s.
how do you get to the bottom of a Tootsie Roll or the inside of it? How did the saying go? How do you get to the center? How do you get to the center of the Tootsie Roll? Tootsie Pop. There you go.
A Tootsie Roll.
I totally botched that. Bit. This is why I don't do improv. This is why David's more entertaining than I am.
I don't know about that. Let's see.
And this is why
we're gonna have to do like a content creators calendar.
Oh God.
Yes.
And people will pay us to not have us mail it to their house.
Exactly. That's how that would go.
And this is why I had 3 other guests on. I don't have to say anything. You guys are golden entertainment just in yourselves. This is amazing.
Oh no, this is recorded.
Speaking of getting paid, have any of you considered doing like a Patreon or a any kind of fundraising? Or
I still don't know how Patreon actually works. So
yeah, I've thought about it, but like I don't know, because usually I know a lot of people. Usually it's not just like, hey, just give me money. It's more like, hey, if you're I don't know if subscribers are the right word, but then you get access to this extra content. Yeah. I'm not sure how to go about that or what even I would use as extra content, but
yeah, I read a little bit. So I donate to Patreons for several content creators just because I get a lot out of them. Like that's probably my main form of entertainment is podcasts, to be honest. So I'm like, if I can pay $8 for a Netflix subscription, then I can pay $15 in monthly Patreons to a few people. But so it's a subscription. You sign up to pay like 1 or 2 or 10, $5 or $10 a month to a person, and usually they commit to extra content that they'll give you. And what I've read is that most people will not subscribe to a Patreon if they don't feel like they're getting some bonus out of it. So that's why they do it.
Right.
With the ones I've done, I'm usually like, hey, I appreciate you're doing that content, but I'm trying to contribute to a lot of different people. So if you just give me like a $2 level and I don't care about any content, I'll subscribe to that in a minute. So yeah, but I guess, yeah, you do have to, like, I know like Board Game Barrage has a Patreon where their extra content is they just have like a little 5-minute chat after they do the recording session about off topic stuff. And then they release that as their, kind of their Patreon episode. And so it's usually little stuff like that, little extra content.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, and I've seen some that are like, you can, if you're at this level for this many months, then we'll play a game with you.
Right.
Like we can sit down and we can do like a live video playing a game on BGA or whatever it is.
Hey, man, I keep giving that away. I keep telling all of our listeners to just join me on Board Game Arena. I should start charging for it.
It would be like, it would be just like this, and you could have the other two hot cakes and
chats.
And have like a 3-on-1.
Seems like a lot of extra work.
It does.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Is it worth the effort to put into it for?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
for the $50 a month you'll get out of it. Probably it's probably what most people are making.
Yeah,
I'd like to do a lot. I'd like to be able to review more often or anything, but just time is so like tight between like work and kids and all that. Like, the idea of squeezing something else in is a little scary. But
kids, am I right?
Yeah, the Bunkers and Badasses, podcast that I do, I've thought about doing a Patreon for that, because then I could do like character sheets, or we can do like bonus episodes where we play a different RPG, or like just all sorts of bonus episodes that would be really easy to do. But I don't know, it's just it feels scary to do it,
One of my winning strategies at this game is always my goal is to never use workers if I can at all. And I've used like 5 workers so far. I've locked myself into a couple tiles.
I've been cycling through workers like crazy.
It's so bad. I've had to use 2 actions to get workers, and I usually try to go a game without ever doing that. So it's not a good start for me.
So we've wrapped up round A. So we're into round B. The scores are Mr. Rao 43, Tim 43, Riley 32, and David 17.
Anybody's game at this point.
Anybody's game. I was hoping to squeeze out an extra couple points.
I messed. I told you that first move. I messed it up, and now I'm out. That's okay.
David's Dutchie's got some big areas in it though, so if he can get those filled up.
Yeah.
Well, so does Riley. Riley's got some big areas in his too. And so does Tim. Tim's got like the super brown area.
Yeah.
He's got the
it's
super
risky,
area.
Though. It's risky.
Oh, but when you pull that one off, it's so good.
Because the problem is it's all 8 buildings. So if you don't manage to get it one of the, you can't play the same building.
Well, you need that. You need the knowledge tile. You need the knowledge tile that allows you to double up the brown buildings in that area.
Yeah.
I got to keep my first turn order the rest of the game to make sure I can pick it up.
I'm going to try to unlock an achievement and win this game by always remaining in 4th. At the bottom of
I've definitely done that before. The boat, like going first is great. The boats are one strategy to go on, but it definitely doesn't, it's not a requirement. Especially after the first round. There's enough things to do usually that it doesn't matter that much.
In my first game with David, I didn't care at all about the turns, but that's 2 players, so really it was like, okay, what's the worst he can do is like take 2 or 3 tiles.
Yeah, it's definitely more painful at 4.
Oh my gosh, this is such a risky move, but I'm gonna do it anyways just because I have the opportunity to do it. Complete that area with all chickens. That was risky, but I tried it just to jump up to 66 points.
Oh boy.
Those aren't chickens, are they? Are those like goats or something?
Are they goats or
they're
chickens?
Goats. Yeah, those are goats.
Oh, they're goats. Never
yeah,
mind.
you know what they did? I think this is didn't the old tiles, that's strange. They actually changed them to goats for the old version, because the old version was actually chickens and then they changed it to goats in the new version. So, but somehow we're looking at the old art with goats on it.
Yeah.
Weird.
Okay, from my poor eyesight, they look like chickens.
They could be anything you want. I mean, don't worry about it. Zebras, whatever. It's fine.
I want
They just have
a,
to all match each other.
I want a chicken. A chicken.
A chick goat.
A chick goat. All right. Where's everybody? I haven't done this yet on the stream for a while. I'm just going to scroll and watch everybody's duchies here just to see where everybody's sitting.
Oh my God. This is the dice are not playing nice to me.
Tim's doing the outside of the board strategy right now.
Not on purpose. Not on purpose.
What's Riley doing here? Riley, okay, he's
doing something.
He's starting to spread out. He's got lots of options. David's got lots of options too.
Okay. Well, let's see.
I'm still so far away from the water. I'm still so far away from water. I can't even think about boats right now.
Oceanfront property in your desert over there, Ryan.
With my chicken goats.
You got a couple little ponds.
Hey, that castle is fully surrounded. That should count for something.
You'll be eating well tonight, that's for sure. Plenty of what's goat meat? It's not venison, right? What is goat?
Oh, is there a special word for it?
I feel like there is, isn't there? I think there's a word for goat meat.
I wish we had a contraption that could look up this information.
As a 25-year-old vegetarian, I'm the last to know about this stuff.
There's no way we'll ever find out, unfortunately.
There's no device in history that can look up this information that fast.
Yeah, we're out of luck on discovering this. Too bad.
Let me pull out my encyclopedia.
Tough choices. Okay.
The old Encyclopedia Britannica. Do those exist still?
If they do, then somebody's making bad decisions.
Yeah. That's got to be like for like older folks. Like, no, we need to have an encyclopedia in the house or something, right?
Just like an atlas.
Every
house should have an atlas.
People buy NFTs. Like, why not buy an encyclopedia? It's got as much value.
Yeah, there you go.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it first here. NFTs are the encyclopedias of the world.
What if you just got like NFTs of every page of an encyclopedia, so you can make an entire encyclopedia out of it?
That'd be something.
Okay, double two. Okay, I'm gonna grab one of. I'm gonna grab one of those, and I will grab one of those. Perfect. Confirm.
I feel so much pressure when it comes back to me.
Yeah.
As you should.
First place again. First player order.
Yeah. It's weird because, I can't look at my dice beforehand. So now I have to do all the analyzing like on my turn.
No, it's cool. Just do it quicker.
It's a good thing that Chris isn't here.
Chris has been, I have to admit, Chris, he said his New Year's resolution this year was to try to play games quicker, and he's clearly making an effort at doing that. So we still josh him about it, but he is I think sped up quite a bit.
Oh, that's good.
I'm
doing pretty good tonight. I'm usually that guy that has to sit here and
Well, that's because you've been in fourth place all night, Brian. You've got plenty of time to decide what you're going to do with those dice.
This is actually
castle next to any boats.
He's not wrong, folks. He's not wrong. My options are pretty limited when they come around to me, and especially I have no workers, so my options are very limited. I have to say, though, I am very impressed with this implementation.
Yeah, it's nice, right? It's easy.
Yeah,
it works really well.
I have the Castles of Burgundy app on my iPad here, and this runs so much more smoothly than that version. I can't remember who developed it. I think it was Digidice. I want to say it was Digidice.
Yeah, it's a very pretty implementation, but it's slow because they have like these animations that happen between each turn. So it's really a great implementation, but it's slow, and because you're trying to make it fit on a screen, it hides a lot of information. It's not as as visible, but it's a nice thing to kill some time with. Like I haven't even counted those plays on my 100 plays, my app plays.
So we're like talking like
another
thousands.
20 on there, something like that.
All right, stop bragging about it. We know.
I should shut up about it because when you guys slaughter me, I'm gonna be feeling pretty stupid.
I was say Riley's sneaking up here, 62 points now.
Shh.
he's remained relatively quiet. He's doing the Ryan approach. Whenever I get really quiet, that's when I'm like really starting to analyze things and like, I'm gonna sneak this one away. Don't bring attention to what I'm doing.
I have to hope I'm gonna pull Riley here and come from behind and suddenly like just amass a ton of points at the end. I'm falling behind. Well, I'm falling. I'm still behind, is what I'm trying to say. I fell behind a long time ago and I have not gotten back up yet. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
You were up ahead quite a ways at the beginning, though. Although I think you're just about the same score as you were in like round, the second turn.
Yeah, yeah. When I was the only person who'd taken a turn, I was way ahead of you.
Yeah.
All right, that's all right. All right, let's see.
All right.
Let's see. What can I do?
And this is the serious part of the show, folks.
Did you guys ever notice, like, if you play with the same group of people in a game, how much a meta game develops? Like I'm playing with you guys, and I play with my wife and our friend Jen a lot. Jen's been on our podcast quite a few times, but we play. That's where I get most of my games at Castles of Burgundy, and the way you guys are valuing tiles is completely different than the way that or the other players do. So it's interesting. Like I feel I can take it. I don't have to grab that tile as quickly as I normally would because these guys are not. They're not interested. They're not. I noticed they weren't grabbing them early. So
yeah,
my wife really always pays attention to what my dice are because she always tries to deny me.
Get the best stuff away from me first.
Yeah, she tries to deny me the things.
That is definitely something that's a little bit harder for me to do. Is at least like right now I'm using half the screen for the Zoom and half for this. So I even have to scroll on and see my own board. So when you're able to see everybody's board, visually, really with one glance, it does make it a little bit easier to help pay attention. That's something that playing online has always been more of a challenge for me. That's one of the reasons I like to play in person. You can kind of I feel like I can better see what everybody's doing in real life play.
Okay.
I also noticed in an async game, it could be an hour or two or half a day between your turns.
Yeah,
and
so
it comes back to you and you're just like, what was my strategy again?
Yeah, right now I think I have like 15 async games too, and like 4 of them are Castles of Burgundy. And so it's like, what strategy was I using?
Yeah, and that's the worst, right? Multiple games of the same game going on. It's like, oh gosh, what is it? I know. And like after I take my turn, I'll spend like 2 minutes to think and look at the board and be like, okay, when it comes back around to me, why do I even do that? Why do I bother? I'm not going to remember.
They have there's a little notes feature up in the top right hand corner, so that the idea that you can like take a note. And so some people I play like Gaia Project with Adam and Chris and Jeff, and they say that they use the notes for that because Gaia Project you really have to plan out like what you're going to do. And I often just completely forget what I was planning to do. And then I'll take a turn and be like, wait, that's not what I was working on here. So that's why Adam beats me all the time with that game. You guys play Gaia Project? Any Gaia Project players here?
Me.
Not yet.
Choose me.
My board game store has had it on their clearance for like 3 months. And
what's it going for?
It's like $70, I think.
Oh, okay, that's not that big of a clearance.
60, 70, somewhere in there. Yeah.
I'm
always tempted because you talk about it. You talk it up quite a bit.
Yeah, it's a great game. It's a really great game, but it's a fairly heavy game. It's streamlined once you know the rules, and it's not that hard to teach, but it's not easy to just like I would say, hey, we should just play on BGA, but I don't think it's going to be an easy game to pick up on BGA for a first play, to be honest.
Yeah. We had played tons of Terra Mystica before Gaia Project came out. So when Gaia Project came out, it was a natural like transition for us because we had already had lots of the core basics down.
Do you like Gaia more than Terra Mystica?
I absolutely love Gaia Project way better than Terra Mystica.
Okay. It's funny. I've heard some people that like learned on Terra Mystica and they still prefer it, I think, because they're comfortable with it. But I've only played Terra Mystica a couple times, and I just don't see, Gaia Project just feels like a straight evolution to me. Like there's nothing
Yeah.
that I would prefer in Terra
Yeah.
Mystica personally.
My friend Ian will fight me to the day that Terra Mystica is the most purest, like awesomest, perfect game in the history of the world. And how dare you like taint that with this other version that's trying to steal the thunder and the spotlight and everything. So this is for
David,
you, Ian.
Did we
told me
play Terra Mystica once?
No, I haven't. No, for
What did-
sure.
Okay, never mind. I don't think I've played it then.
I have trouble though, like okay, because I'm more of like a fantasy guy than a sci-fi game. So when there's two games that are kind of similar-ish, at least, like I have trouble not grabbing the fantasy one just because. But then again, I've also heard the I don't know. You guys could tell me more. I've heard the theme is not super integrated. Like you don't necessarily feel like you're doing this fantasy whatever stuff.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, but it still matters. Like, you know, you're still going to have
Right.
the fantasy artwork and the sci-fi artwork and things like that.
Okay.
So I can see that for sure, David. And maybe if that was really like personally, I'm pretty equal on both of them. So it has never really been too
Sure.
important to me, but I could totally see that.
What do you guys think about that new kind of supposedly streamlined version of Terra Mystica? Is it Terra Nova?
Terra Nova. Yeah.
Terra Nova, I'm interested to hear what exactly it ends up being when they release, like they flush out all of the details and release all of the details to everybody. I'll be very interested.
Yeah, I'm not really interested at all just because I don't want to go backwards. Like I love
Yeah.
the complexity of Gaia projects, so I don't really have any interest. And then like we went through that with Terraforming Mars, and I really I didn't appreciate what we gave up to go to the Terraforming Mars Ares expedition personally. So I felt it was kind of a step backwards.
Yeah, I didn't.
So,
I
not really
didn't
interested.
entertain the Ares expedition like at all. We love Terraforming Mars here. Like I got the deluxe edition with like the nice tiles and everything, the big box and everything like that.
Yeah.
The
I just know,
sleeves
like,
were unnecessary.
Despite the fact that my wife is like excellent at picking up rules, like when we play games that are really heavy, even if she seems to get them down, like she doesn't necessarily like doing that much to get like the same kind of feeling. So I'm wondering if I already get that one and she likes that, it might be like a good way to step up into like a more complicated version of the same thing and go with the original from there maybe. But I don't
It
know.
might
She
be.
just feel like, yeah, she wants the easier one.
That's honestly why I picked up Ares Expedition, was because I was like, well, if I can, maybe this will be a little bit easier. My wife's the same way. Like she plays heavy games fine, but she doesn't like learning new heavy games. And so I was like, maybe this will be a little simpler to get her into. But I played it a couple times and I was like, but I don't even want to spend my time playing this game when I'd rather play many other kind of mid-weight Euros or, you know, mid-weight, like, you know, other games of the same weight. So I didn't even introduce it to her because I was like, I don't want this to be a part of our regular game schedule. I'd rather play many other things. So, you know, hopefully that's not what Terra Mystica is for you. But, you know, again, if you're not familiar with, Terra Nova, if you're not familiar with Terra Mystica to start, it might be a really fun game. I might have appreciated Ares Expedition more if I hadn't felt like I was missing out on what, you know, Terraforming Mars gave, I think. So
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's a really good point too, because a lot of games that I discover and everything, like I've been playing modern games for quite some time now. I've played a lot of them. When I discover something, I'm like, well, okay, well, I've already played that over here. I'm not really drawn to that. One of the games like a lot of people really, 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 really love is Isle of Cats. And I played Isle of Cats. We actually got a review copy when I was on Cardboard Conjecture. But I had already played so many other polyomino style games that I loved even more. And that I'm sure if I played Isle of Cats first, I actually probably really, really, really liked it. But then I'm like, well, I'd actually rather play like Baron Park, or I'd rather play some of these other ones. So
that's
Like,
fighting
really?
words, Ryan. Isle of Cats is so much better than Baron Park. I can't believe you just compared those two.
Ooh. Yeah, but I don't know what it was. Like when I was playing it, I was like, I see what they're doing here, but I'd rather play this other one.
No, for sure. I get that 100%. Like, you know, if something is fairly close mechanically to something else, then you're absolutely right. Like why you have to kind of make a choice, right? You don't need every polyomino game. So you kind of have to pick what feels the best to you and the most fun to you.
I'm pretty sure it would, in my mind, I know exactly that it would be a complete reversal if I had played Isle of Cats first before I played Barren Park.
I played Barren Park first, and I can definitively tell you objectively that Isle of Cats is a better game for me.
Nice.
I have to clarify that.
The popcorn, right? Let's watch this battle happen. There's gonna be bloodshed here soon.
But that's the beautiful
Isle of Cats here.
But that's the beauty. That's the beauty part of this gaming, that there's so many of these games that there's something for everybody. It's not going to fit with everybody.
With this kind of topic, like with what, if I can speak, with what Ryan was saying, where if you play the other one first, you probably like that one first. Do you think that it's I don't know if emotional attachment might be too strong, but something like that, where it's like, well, this is like the game of this type that I kind of fell in love with. So even though it may have flaws compared to this other game, I still like it better because that was like the one that got me. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I've had kind of like the preemptive reaction to that, where it's like, oh, I've heard this is a better version of this game I like, so I don't want to get that better version because I like the version I have, and I don't want to get it replaced by whatever this other thing is. Like, which is nonsense. It's complete nonsense.
Yeah.
That is nonsense.
It is. It's 100%.
Exactly. Go play the better version. You love this game. Play the better version.
My brain has no logic whatsoever. It doesn't matter. I can't defend that. It's just what it is.
But
I was a big
sorry, go for it.
I was a big like Arkham Horror fan, the board game. And everyone's like, oh, Elder Tour is so much better. And I'm like, yeah, maybe. But you're gonna talk me into spending $50 to like part with my love.
Arkham Horror Arkham Horror is just the card game, or is
I was talking about the board game.
Oh, there is a board game, Arkham Horror board game as
Yeah.
well. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is Eldritch Horror? That's also a board game?
Yeah, so like because Arkham Horror is more like you're in like a town and bad stuff's going on. Eldritch Horror, still Cthulhu Mythos stuff, but it's like world standing. So like now we have to go to Egypt, and now we got to go to Antarctica.
So Arkham Horror is the one that's got an app, right, with it?
No, that's
Mansions of Madness.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of, Mansions of Madness.
There's a lot of them.
Got it.
There's a lot of Cthulhu games.
Oh, it's funny. We just talked about on our last episode, which is coming out next Monday, we talked about games that we hadn't played that were in the top 100 games of all time. And we listed out the ones we were most excited to play and the ones that we didn't want to play at all. So kind of like analyzing games we hadn't played on the BGG top 100. And there were a couple of those Cthulhu games. I think Mansions of Madness, and maybe it's Eldritch Horror is on there, or maybe it's Arkham.
Yeah.
What's the other one? There's another one too. Anyway, I could not get them straight at all. Like I intended to talk about a couple of those, and I kept having to look. Like it's probably going to be the chunkiest, the clunkiest segment of the show, is because I had to keep pausing and like re-looking up the list.
It's confusing until you play them, and then it's pretty distinct,
And then you play Cthulhu Death May Die and realize you don't need to play any of those other ones.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, but if you can find it now for under $200.
I think I just picked it up in print. No, it's coming. It's been in print since the Kickstarter. It might not be immediately, but like I picked it up maybe a year ago still. And it was like $70, $75 or something like that.
I keep looking for it everywhere. Okay. It's like on my wish list and on Amazon, and it's like $200. And
I think that's an evergreen like Blood Rage for come on now. So I have a feeling it'll be back. It'll be printed again. So it's probably on boats getting here at this point as we speak.
I really like Cthulhu Death May Die, so I don't have anything negative to say about it. Like it's just that I'm used to the concept, probably because the first exposure I had to the whole Cthulhu thing was like the Call of Cthulhu RPG, where you're probably gonna die or go crazy.
Yeah.
And so the other game, the Arkham Files games, are much more like you are getting stomped on from the get-go, whereas Cthulhu Death May Die is more like you go in and you start kicking some butt for the most part. And so it's just a different feel than what I'm usually thinking of when I play a Cthulhu game. So even though I love it and I have it all, but yeah, for some reason it's like I have to be not in quite the mood I usually am when I think of a Cthulhu game, just because of how it is. But or maybe that's just what I read into it. I don't know. Something happens. But
Nice. I've wanted to play it. I haven't had a chance to play it. I've wanted to. I know there's some guys in the community here that have it, but I've just never managed to get the time in. It seems like right on my alley. I love that style of game.
Same.
Yeah, it's real worth checking out.
The funny thing is that it is not my style of game at all. Like co-op, no interest. Like rolling dice, no interest. Like, but I love it. It's so good. It's like, easily my favorite co-op game. It's easily my favorite kind of dice chucker, like thematic game. It's got such a great little bit of engine building, fun, exciting moments. It feels like you've got agency. You can actually, have an impact. It always comes down to the tense last battle with the great old one. That game's just got such a great arc.
The thing I like about it, I've heard people kind of complain about this because of like the I guess logistic difficulty of it, but I think it's hilarious, is because you can kind of get these creatures chasing you through the mansion you're in or whatever, and suddenly you can be in a little room with your person and you have like every giant monster. Like, how are they squeezing into like this shoe closet or whatever it is? Like, got like Great Cthulhu and all these other like fire vampires or whatever, and somehow we're all squeezing in, and it doesn't, it's ridiculous.
I've heard that complaint, and it has never bothered me, like playing the game.
Me neither. I think
it's who cares? The minis are hanging off the side of the board a little bit, and it is hilarious, and it's crazy. You're just like, well, how am I going to survive this? And then somehow you manage to pull off like an amazing madness move that like knocks everybody out, and it's so cool.
Totally agree. And like, do you really want those tiles to be so gigantic that you can fit those models? I don't think so. Like, you need like a stadium to play that game in. It'd be ridiculous.
I think we just need to replace all the models with cardboard chits, and it'll be perfect. You just stack them up. No, I'm kidding.
Wow.
Totally kidding. I love the minis in that game.
But we can make arguments for we can make arguments for standees.
Yeah. I really actually enjoy the acrylic standees that I've been doing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's a cool trend. They look nicer. They look better than the cardboard standees. They've got a cool style to them, and then you get the full artwork on them, which is really neat. Yeah. So like Wonderland's War is a game, Riley, that I know you and I both are waiting for our deluxe edition to come right now. Yeah. And you have the regular edition. I've played the regular edition, and those standees are great. It's cool artwork on it and stuff like that. And the minis are just going to be gray plastic unless you paint them. And so I almost feel like I'll be stepping backwards in that game by stepping away from the mini, or from the standee. So I'm going to paint that game just because I really want, I want that nice colorful experience with it.
So the one that I have right now is Perseverance, Castaway Chronicles.
Oh yeah.
And the dinosaur miniatures, they're nice, but I love the dinosaur standees that come with the game. Like they're gigantic standees with like the nice big art and everything. My wife looked at the miniature and she looked at the standee. She's like, why did you get these plastic things?
Yeah.
Why are these part of it? I'm just like, well, I said, I like the deluxe edition, but I'm like, now I'm looking at it. I'm like, wow, I could have easily just settled for like a retail edition of this after I've got the fact.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice. It's like this deluxe edition of Castles of Burgundy where you can get the standee of the castle instead of the mini. No, I'm kidding. You can't actually get standee. But a game that would be perfectly fine with just cardboard shits.
They would hear my thoughts honestly, on, like, just go standee.
Get one of those plastic bits and just put your castle in it.
There you go. Gives it a little bit of 3D.
Yeah.
Ryan, how did you like Perseverance?
We've only played episode 1. We played it a couple times, and I was very impressed.
Okay.
I was very impressed with the system. It is definitely made to play with more than just 2 players.
Okay.
Yeah, because I didn't realize that episode 1 had so much area majority in it. There's lots of areas that there requires like area majority, and the quote unquote third player was very weak.
Yeah,
we weren't competing with it like at all, and so it was definitely a game that needs more. But what was there is like fantastic. The game is so immersive.
I'm a big fan of Mind Clash's stuff, like just the the productions, the thematics of it. Usually generally pretty cool mechanisms, and that's the one thing that concerned me about Perseverance is that. Like it's got a solo mode, but it sounds like it's a pretty complex 2 bots you have to run in order to do the solo mode with it. And I just don't see getting it played with 3 or 4 people around me. So I think I'm probably going to pass on it, but I'm very interested in playing. I'd love to play it at some point. Glad to hear you're impressed with it. I had heard kind of mixed reviews on it so far, but I'd like to give it a shot still.
Yeah, it was definitely. Like, I thought it was going to be a good game, and it didn't disappoint, but it didn't, like, blow me away like Anachrony did.
Yeah.
Like I still think Anachrony is like the better design type style, but what was? Oh shit! Now I forgot what I was gonna do.
Excellent. My plan is working.
Distraction.
It's working. It's totally 100%
Ryan, tell me about
working.
the other game that you played last week.
Yeah, let's pay attention. If he starts asking questions of anyone whose turn it is, like that's now we know this.
No, I was just thinking to myself, like I've been having so much fun just chatting with you guys, and I'm not paying too much attention here. So like,
Yeah,
that's
I
my
was
excuse
like,
number three.
this is just what can I do?
I keep
here?
finding myself talking when it's my turn. I'm like, what the heck am I even doing? I don't even know what I'm looking at right now. I'm like, I can't. Oh well, that's fine.
I've decided to stop scoring from here on out.
There you go, right? Good. Oh yeah,
Oh,
no,
I
you're
see
perfect.
why. All right, Riley.
Stop it now.
Do we need to do a recap?
David sees it.
Do we need to do a quick recap? We're in round C.
Oh yes.
We're in round C. A couple turns into round C. We've got Mr. Rao at 107 and Riley at 69. Nice. Tim at 65 and we've got David at 53.
I'm embarrassed. If if this was my thing, I would have edited out my nice.
I really don't.
Done a retake of it and just been like, nice.
I'm gonna mark
make
the
it more
video.
dignified.
I'm gonna mark this video that it's for kids only. Oh my gosh.
I did a review for this is up. Well, it was a game that was on Kickstarter before, but it didn't. I don't know if he canceled it or if it just didn't fund or what. But it's coming out like probably early 2023 called Merchants of Infinity. And I always have my bloopers at the end of the thing, and I realized in like half my bloopers I said a bad word, and I always beep them out. But I was like, I better check with him and see if he wants me to cut those out. And sure enough, he's like, yeah, if you could not put those particular ones. I was like, okay, dang it. I'm like, these are fun bloopers. That's too bad.
Okay.
Like, have you ever actually watched my videos? Come on.
Yeah, what was it when Czech Games Edition reached out to me and they said, yeah, we really love the quality of your videos that you're creating. Like, what do you do? And I'm like, it's all on an iPhone. Everything that I do, it's all recorded on an iPhone.
That is unbelievable. It really is, because your videos do look so nice. It's incredible. So,
oh, thank you. But it was like I'm not doing anything like super fancy. I don't have like the big like expensive 4K cameras and the tripods upon tripods that have a tripod for the tripod. There's setups going on, but it's working. And all I have to work on is this lousy like 2.5 by 6 foot table. Wow. that I do everything on. So right now my reviews are limited that it has to be filmed on this small little table that also has computers on it. And
oh my gosh.
It's my wife's workstation too. So like when I do something like this, I have to tear down my wife's workstation and like shove it off to the side, and then I have to set up all my stuff. And then when we're done here, I'm going to tear down all my stuff and set up my wife's workstation back up. So, and I do this every night when the kids go to bed.
That shows how dedicated Ryan is to make this content for everybody.
Right. And then there's some nights where I'm just like, and some nights I'm just like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. Let's just watch TV.
What I just heard, Ryan, is that your wife's background when she's at work is your game collection sitting behind.
Yes. And it's really quite interesting too. She's like, when she's on video call with like some engineers and everything, she says they're totally looking at what's behind me.
Yeah.
Like all the time. They're like, oh, is that like Ashes Reborn? And it's like, tell me about that game. I've always wanted to know. My wife's like I know nothing about any of this. He asked me to play every now and then. But there are people that she interacts with. They're like, oh, what's that? And then she's like, even got a comment like the other time. She's like, we need to see some of the other games. He doesn't change up the view very often, does he? What are some of the games behind those games?
You literally have games behind those on the Calyx, like
there's probably like 3 or 4 games behind each one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow. it looks a lot nicer than my stupid background here. So I should probably
Well,
copy.
I started running out of shelf space until I discovered that I'm like, hey, wait a minute. And if I push the games backwards, I'm like, there's a room for another game in front. That's like another 25 games.
Nice.
That's smart. I do it behind. I'll hide a game behind everything else.
You can show off way more that way.
Yeah, because I want it to look so impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, Ryan, with the collection that size, probably most of those games get played once a year anyway. So if you just rotate them out once in a while, you'll never miss anything. It's perfect.
There's a podcast that I was friends with, Friday Night Games. They're from Windsor, Ontario, and that's literally what he did. Is like the game that's in front, those are the ones that we need to play, and then when we play them, it goes behind and something else comes in front, and so that there's always something new in the front of our minds. Yeah, when you have a game collection of 350 plus games, they're not. Sometimes it's years by the time you get next to something. Though I have tried now that when we do play something, we try to play at least 3 times before it goes back up on the shelf.
Oh, nice.
Oh wow.
That's
something
the
I
goal.
really admire. Phil from Organized Fun, they do that podcast. So he plays everything by a spreadsheet. And so I just thought like, oh, when they get a new game, it goes to the front. But not only that, but it's organized by like number of plays. And so if he gets a new game and he's played Arkham Horror LCG 10 times and he's played Marvel Champions 3 times, he's going to end up playing Marvel Champions enough to like catch it up to everything.
Interesting.
Right. Yeah, it's really an
I
interesting
can't
way
live my
he
life
does
that
it.
way.
I know he lives by a spreadsheet. I can't do it, but
I can't. at all.
Literally, most of my gameplays are me talking to my wife about playing a game, and she has like 3 that she wants to play. That's why I played Castles of Burgundy 100 times. So
yeah.
I don't get the choice of like picking what we're playing most of the time.
So the
Makes
nice thing is
sense.
because she does the reviews with me, and she's like she pretty much always plays whatever game I'm playing. It's kind of nice because I can pretty much pick all the time now. I can be like, hey, I need to review this, honey, so let's play this several times now. And so I get to have my way on the games that we play a lot. But she's eventually gonna put her foot down and be like, I want to do this one, so it's gonna happen. I'm just waiting.
My wife I call her the reluctant gamer because I'll set up something on the table and she'll like sit down. She'll be like, oh, it's a new game. And then she'll proceed to like be the one that reads the rule book. And she's like, okay, I got it. Let's go. And I'm like, oh, how does your brain work that way? And then she's like, oh, by the way, I'm not happy that we're playing a new game. Can we just play something that we've already played?
Yeah.
I said,
That's funny.
then she gets shocked when I said, well, we have played this game before. It's probably been 2 years though, but we have played this game before. Then she'll get going. She's like, oh, right. This is that thing that does that thing. And she's like, oh, I don't like this one. But I like it. So come on, please.
My wife jokes that she must be the villain on our podcast because I'm always talking about how, like, she's very hesitant. Like, she doesn't like learning new games, and she's very vocal when there's a game she doesn't like for whatever reason. It could be bad user experience, it could be some mechanism that she doesn't like, or she could just lose a couple times in a row. She's like, I don't like that game at all. It sucks. And I kind of, I talk about that a lot about what games I play is because, oh, my wife doesn't want to play this, and so she'll listen to my podcast once in a while, and she's like, I don't mind being the Skeletor to your He-Man on the show.
That's great. My wife just started because like it takes me a while to get back to games. Again, mostly because of time, but especially now that we're doing reviews as well, it's hard to like look back to the older stuff sometimes. And so I'll be like, oh, let's play this older game. Remember we played that? She'll be like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. And then I'll get the board out on the table and I'll be pouring over the wall. She'll be like, oh, no, I remember how to play this. I'm like, really? Like I don't. You didn't remember the game, and I put it out, and you're like, no, you do this, and then you do. How? And I'm the one that taught her. Is the thing. It's not like I'm. Just it leaves my brain and not hers. It's amazing.
We had the idea way back on Cardboard Conjecture that I kept throwing out the idea. I'm like, we just need to have the wives / spouses / significant others take over. Like they'd run the podcast for like an hour. Like we just like set up the microphones and just let them talk to each other for like an hour and then come back and like try to hear what they all said about us and stuff like that. I thought it would always be an interesting conversation of like what is the significant other in our lives think about what we do.
If I could convince my wife to do that, I would totally do that for an episode. Just have her interview another board game content creator. You know, Tim's wife sounds a lot like mine, you know, and I think they would have a good time, but I don't think I could convince my wife to do it.
Oh gosh, no.
I think that's the key too, right? Like my wife's like, the podcast can be your thing. Like I don't need to listen, right? I don't need to be
exactly.
And so she probably, but I think it'd be fun. Like I think her and like Chris's wife and Adam's girlfriend, the three of them getting on and talking about a game would be amazing. Like they'd be so good at it. They'd probably be way more critical than we are, you know, like because they don't love the hobby like we do. So even when they're games that we don't love, we're always trying to find the fun things about it, the exciting, you know, interesting things about it. But like when my wife plays a game, if she doesn't like it, she's brutal. She's just like, no, there's nothing fun to be here. So it'd be a pretty interesting conversation.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, these dice rolls. Look at this. 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, and then you have a 5 and a 3. But wow. Doubles feel like the worst thing for me.
They're not awesome.
Doubles are okay early in the round, not at the end of the round.
They literally, Riley, in the stats at this, when you see the end game scoring, it will show you how many doubles you had. Because it's important, actually. Yeah, because doubles are very bad in this game. Because it's basically taken away your, you know, like multiple selections in a turn most of the time.
Yeah, I
haven't paid that close attention to the final thing other than just like the actual score itself. I'm like,
Yeah, I feel like I'm doing absolutely horrible right now.
And
I feel like I could be doing better.
You guys just let me take this tech tile that lets me put multiple buildings of the same type in a section. So thank you for that.
I feel
wait, that can't. Oh, it is there. I wasn't even paying attention for it.
Yeah,
I really wanted it, but I couldn't justify it at the time. If it got to me this time,
the justification is that denies Tim.
Well, the sad thing is that we're already almost to the end of this round, and I didn't even notice it was out there until right now. So
I didn't even see it.
That should have been my first pick for this board. That should have been my first pick of the round.
You silly.
silly goose.
Sorry to
I
name
think my ability or lack thereof to win at games exists to spread joy in the world. I actually played this game with this woman named Amanda, who I occasionally play games with on here, and I was like, "Have you ever played this?" She's like, "I've played it, but I never win." I'm like, "Okay, well let's play." And then she beat me, and she was like, "This is great. I've never won before." I'm like, "I'm glad I could be there for you.
Yes.
Help you achieve this in your life." Okay.
You guys will get a kick out of this. I had kind of a surreal moment today where, so I'm, you know, we just reviewed ARCs this last episode that came out, and I'm subscribed to the ARCs page on Board Game Geek, and so I get a little notification on BGG whenever something's posted about ARCs, and I saw a post come up about ARCs, and it said Board Game Hot Takes podcast just reviewed ARCs. So it's like I saw our name show up in the subscription that I got, which is really cool. But I click into it, and some guy's like, "Hey, if you haven't heard it yet, this podcast just reviewed it. You might want to take a listen." And some guy goes, "Yeah, but I listened to their podcast a few months ago, and their thoughts on roots were so ridiculous. I don't even want to go back and listen to it."
Wow.
So yeah, that was fun. And then of course it's a Leader Games, right? ARCs is from Leader Games, so of course all the fans of it in there are like Root fans. So then it just becomes like a bashing of my like thoughts on the combat capability of Root. So that was fun.
Oh my goodness, I love that.
But you are right, Tim. Like I like Root, but I hate the combat.
The combat's so stupid, right?
It's so dumb.
It's unintuitive, and it's just not fun at all. ARCs, by the way, which like reads on paper like it's going to play like the Root combat system, is so much more fun and so much easier. Like it's just more intuitive, and it's more streamlined, and it's fun. It's exciting.
Yeah, that's got me excited. I was initially like sloughing off ARCs just because of the same reason. Like it says 3 to 4 players, and we play mainly just 2-player around here. Like I'm not going to get a play. But your description of the game made me sound like I would really enjoy playing this game. This game sounds like so much fun.
We sure did. But it's funny, like, so we played it again Monday night. and had Chris play for the first time, because in the first game it was just me, Adam, and Steve played it. So Chris joined us on this last one, and the whole game, me, Adam, and Steve are just like, "Oh, this game is so fun! It's so good! It's so good!" We get to the end, and Chris is like, "I didn't like that game at all. Like he hated it. You could tell the whole game he was miserable. He was unhappy." So just so funny how some games
so
hit
crazy
from people in different ways. Chris hates trick taking though, so it doesn't surprise me. He didn't like it.
That's a big blind spot for me. I don't think I have played a trick taking game of any kind at all. I think I own one that I've not got to the table yet. I think I have Boxed in the Forest, and that's it. But
it's not a great example of a trick taker, to be honest, because 2-player just doesn't feel the same way.
It's just 2-player. My wife loves it. I'm like, I'll play it just for her sakes, because she really actually really enjoys it as a 2-player experience. But I was like, it's just fine for me. It's just fine. But
yeah.
I do like the fact that like the odd numbered cards actually do something, like mess with the game system a little bit. They change up the chump suit or something like that, or swap.
Yeah, it's a fun little game for a 2-player. I mean, it's cool that they managed to make a 2-player trick taking game that worked to some extent. But
it's really hard for us to get a competitive game that played with more than just us two. A lot of our friends only want to play cooperative games, either because they're not competitive at all, or they're so competitive that it's going to become a fight if they play them. So I figured that would be a good one to try it out, but I just haven't delved into it to really give it a fair shot yet. But I'll get there.
That's kind of the deal with my wife, is she's really competitive, and like if she loses, it stings a bit more, and so we end up usually playing cooperative because she doesn't have to feel that pressure of like, I need to win this. I also want to point out I got doubles again, and there is literally no tile here.
Yeah, no, it's rough, man.
That's cool.
I'm feeling it. You can throw that boat up on your board for 2, though. You're good.
Yeah.
I know I need to sell a worker, or I need to.
No, you can throw the boat up without selling a worker.
Right beside that castle and that church.
Wait, what?
You can put the boat right beside the castle and the church.
Yeah.
Oh, that 2 there. Yeah. I was hoping to get that 1 over there, but.
Well, grab a worker and then put it flat, throw it down.
I know. Because there's just so much I wanted here.
Yeah. Because just like grabbing workers as an action is totally just viable.
Super efficient.
Super
Definitely
efficient.
want to do that every time you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I apologize.
I feel like I could have done so much.
I apologize that I've been grabbing the brown tiles that give you the workers. I've grabbed. This is the 3rd one that I've grabbed this game.
The funny thing, Ryan, is you haven't grabbed. Oh, you've got one of the buildings that scores your tactile. Your
Yeah, it's only going to score me 4 points right now.
Yeah. I didn't see that one. I was like, you're not even grabbing any.
That's okay. Everybody's going to leap ahead of me here, hopefully.
Man, I'm sure counting on this 8 section points in the final round if I can pull it off. I haven't really taken much of a stab at it at this point. We'll see if I can even
with
do it.
2 rounds left. So was that 10 turns? 10 turns left.
Yeah. Yeah, that's 20 actions, so that's still a decent amount of actions left.
So what he just said, folks, is that we need to just grab brown tiles left, right, and center away from him. Just make sure that Tim doesn't grab.
Guys, this is not a 1 versus many game. This is not a cooperative game.
He did throw down though with his I played this game 100 times.
Yeah.
Ryan, you asked.
You made yourself like the most intimidating person.
I did. Oh gosh.
Oh boy, let's see. Okay.
But I do see that others other than me, everybody else has started to grab some of the shipping tiles, which in a 4-player game they're pretty significant because they're 4 points each.
Yeah, that's right. They are worth more points in a 4-player game. It's a good point.
So Riley's got a couple stacks of 2. David's got a few. Tim's got a few stacks. He's got a stack of 3, a stack of 2. I only just approached my water section, so now I can finally grab some.
What I just heard, guys, is we should all take all the goods tiles so that when Ryan plays boat tiles, he doesn't get anything.
That's exactly what
happened.
Look
at his score. I can't believe he's trash talking me. Look at his score.
Oh my goodness, he is significantly further. Yeah, after this, we'll start the round D, and we'll
Do a round update.
summary. Yeah, round update.
Oh, I didn't even notice that I grabbed Tim had grabbed the bonus tile for castles.
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
And I grabbed the
yeah.
bonus tile for
For animals.
animals.
Yeah.
I didn't actually realize that those actually happened. Oh crap. What do we got here? A 5 and a 2. What do we got for 5s and 2s? Oh, that's actually a decent 5 tile
Yeah,
for
that's
me.
a good 5.
But I'm going to give myself some workers. And I guess I can put down my first boat. Can I get anything? Is there any goods tiles out there? No, there's not.
There's one pink good.
There's one pink goods. Oh, but that gets me going on these. That gets me going.
One of my favorite updates of the new version of the game, that the anniversary edition, is that the goods tiles all have different types of goods on them depending on the color.
That's
and it's
actually
like such
really
a
nice.
minor thing, but it just adds a little bit of theme, makes it a little more fun.
That's
instead of
really
just
nice.
Crates.
Yeah.
So we're starting round D. Mr. Rouse up to 140. Riley is at 90. Tim is at 88. David's at 75. Anybody's game.
Neck and neck.
Neck and neck and neck, and then Ryan.
Giraffe neck. Neck and neck and neck. Giraffe neck. He's really stretching.
I am, but you folks are gonna. Some of you I see are starting to close in on some bigger areas, and I don't have big areas to close in. So.
Oh God, I
There's
got
that.
2 2s. Jeez. Okay.
And I've stayed in the 4th position the entire game, folks. I've been in the 4th position on the turn order the entire game so far.
Show off.
I said I'm going for the achievement. I want to go for the achievement. I want to try. I want to try to stay in 4th the entire time. Well, you guys did grab all those shipping tiles, which Tim and I were talking before we recorded. In the anniversary, the new special edition, the turn order track, they made castles, like they were little castle miniatures for the turn order. And I just thought that maybe they could have made boats. They could have made boats. Like
Yeah, like I said, I think a lot of people complained about that, and so they literally in the last update said we updated the art on the board next to the castles to be water, because there was no link at all in the original version of the board. It was just like castles out in the middle of the land, and so they did at least try to put that link in there. But yeah, agreed, it does feel off a little bit. I don't mind. I can deal with that.
Yeah, I mentioned that my kids have little stackable boats that they play with in the bathroom. If they could just miniaturize those stackable boats that my kids play with, I would have liked that. Thinking you can still go move and stack them, but neither here or there. I will probably mention that in my final rant video when it gets towards its final days of its campaign, because there's not that many days left.
No, it's right around the corner, I think.
Yeah. If only I could look up that information.
Yeah,
Right now.
there's just no way. Maybe you could send them a letter and they can mail you one back. That's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah.
I think.
I need to find an owl or a pigeon.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. See, I don't even pay attention right now what's going on, because all the stuff that I want is probably going to disappear. Look at all the 2s. Look at all the people that have 2s ahead of me, and I rolled a 2. And 4s. And Riley's also got a 4. And I rolled a 4 and a 2. Oh, I got 5 workers. Okay, I'm okay. I also haven't had
Good
very
boss.
much.
You got a full labor force going on over there.
I haven't explored the mines and the silver in this game very much. That's been a really down. I really always liked buying those middle of the board tiles.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the tile in the middle that gives you points for having different animals in your duchy.
Oh, yeah. Your petting zoo could come to fruition.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Tim's cracked 100.
Ooh,
Oh,
Tim's cracked 100 points.
sure did.
big money, big money.
Here's the beginning of the end for me. Oh yeah, he's already started. He's got 2 browns in that massive 8 brown area. What do you get for that area? 36 points. 36 points if he fills that whole thing in.
You know, I still wouldn't catch up to you.
But you're gonna get other bonuses along the way doing that.
Oh, I am going to catch up with you. Yeah, I just meant not by that.
Oh yeah.
Well, that would be 40 points, right? Because you get the 36 and the 4
If I did it this
if you
round.
completed it.
Yeah, I won't do it this round. It'll be next round if I can do it. Well, I might do it
Start
this
buying
round.
building.
Who knows? Yeah.
Everybody else start buying buildings.
Feels
Oh, yeah.
when I play
Oh,
with
yeah,
my
he
group.
went-
You guys are always picking on me.
Okay, now my beautiful mind thing is starting to go. It's starting to go off here. I apologize if this next turn is going to take forever. Okay, 4 and a 2. I could do that. Okay.
So my strategy is kind of just wing it.
Yeah,
That's
always
pretty
good.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
me too, and it's working for both of us real well. So, so
Yeah.
far.
The wing it strategy worked better when there were chickens in the games, but with goats, I don't think winging it is gonna get you very far.
No. Boom, boom. Oh, whoa.
Mr. Al, that was supposed to be a huge turn, but you're still sitting at 140 points. I feel
Yeah,
like maybe
it
you didn't really do anything that turn.
No, I just grabbed a couple tiles. Just a couple tiles.
Could you take another go at that, please?
Undo. Where's the undo button? Oh no, wait, you have to actually click to confirm. I actually like that click to confirm.
Yeah.
Makes you
Every
second
once
guess.
in a while I forget.
Me too.
It's funny how they're so inconsistent on Board Game Arena, and that like some of the games give you that, and then some
right.
of them you just, as soon as you do it, you're done, and you don't even have an option. Maybe I need to start looking at some of the settings. Maybe some of them change that. But like Blood Rage on this is a cool implementation, but it's so frustrating when you just accidentally click the wrong location you want to go to, or the wrong card in your hand, because it's getting played. It doesn't matter whether you wanted to do that or not. It's going to get played.
Yeah.
And it came up in our game of Targi as well, where I was like, hey, I clicked give up the point instead of give up the goods.
Yeah.
But there was nothing to confirm that.
Yeah, it's almost like, I mean, it would be kind of rough too to have to click confirm after every move. So I get it, but I don't know. At least maybe after the end of the like when you take back all your workers, if you could kind of reset, like if you didn't, undo that turn at least, because sometimes the order you do it is really important.
And there's some games, I think I ran into, there's some games that you can toggle that feature on and off, whether or not.
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering if you could do that in some of these games, because I never look at these settings up here. So
well, I actually never actually realized that that's what the 3-bar thing actually did. That
I want to know what kind of status turns off the display tooltips option in Castles of Burgundy. I guess, I mean, I pretty know what they all do at this point, but still.
Display tooltips.
Like it gets in the way.
Well, that's what it's like playing on an iPhone. Like, because theoretically you can hold it down and it'll pop, but I've never had it actually work for me. So I'm like, well, I don't know. Something's gonna happen when I pick that tile. Let's see how it goes. I don't know. Could be anything.
Sometimes I'll just like grab a random tile and then play it and see what happens. And I'm like, okay, undo that. Undo.
That's smart.
That didn't do what I wanted it to. And as much as I have played it, 4-ish times, I have I feel like some of these yellow tiles I have never seen before, and they probably come up all the time, but the iconography just doesn't resonate with me.
Yeah, the iconography in either edition is not easy to read at all.
Yeah.
And then you don't see them all every game. Like there is a variety, especially the black ones in the middle that will not come up in a 2-player game. You won't see a lot of them in a game.
Yeah. In a 4-player game, you do see a good.
A lot of them. Yeah.
You see a good chunk of them. Whereas, in a 2-player game, there's quite a variety of those knowledge tiles that don't come up. Even the animal tiles too. There's quite a variety that ends up in a 2-player game.
Riley, you beat me to the mine tile, huh?
I did. Yeah, that was.
Well, you know what stinks is I was holding that mine in my reserve for like 5 rounds too. I just never got around. I never got the dice I needed to play it.
I was watching that and I was like, "Oh, can I pull it off? Can I pull it off?" And finally got it.
Well, it only cost me 3 points, so that's okay.
We'll see when you lose by 3.
Yeah. We'll see when that happens.
Yeah.
I was just amazed how fat, because I'd heard about this game for years, and it just never like looked like something that appealed to me. And the first time I played it on BJ, despite not knowing probably what most of the tiles I was picking did, I was like, this is so good. Like,
it's so good, dude.
I just fell in love with it right away.
This was one of those games. It was probably the first game I ever bought, and I took it out and I started reading the rules, and I was immediately, this game is amazing. Like I was literally just blown away by just reading through the rules, and oh my god, that happens. You get a bonus when you do that, but it decreases over like so many little things that are so clever. And I can't believe that this is still one of my favorite games to play, even after 100 plays. And it's not because of familiarity. I don't think it's just because I always have a fun time making these quick little choices and the little dopamine hits of, getting these bonuses when things combo up. It's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, the combo-tastic nature of this game. I love it.
Yeah.
Like I just,
very satisfying.
I felt very satisfied on my last turn that I just did. I pulled off a couple combos.
Yeah, because you had the castle as well as that building that lets you place another thing too, right?
Yeah.
So you just lined up a bunch of stuff. Brian,
really
have you looked at that vineyard expansion that's coming with the new Kickstarter?
I've looked at it a little bit. I'm interested on all those little bonuses. I think that's what really all that vineyard really does is there's like a whole bunch of bonuses that you just kind of just keep comboing off of.
Well, because every time you play one of those vine tiles, it covers 2 bonuses. So you're going to get 2 bonuses every time you play one. But then there's also like end game scoring, I think, for having the most connected sets or something like that. I haven't read the final rules of it yet, but it looks like a fun addition. We'll see how it, how much somebody like kind of focuses on that versus it ignores other stuff on the board. I think it's going to kind of open up the options of the game and like what you're really focusing on. I think that's kind of neat.
Yeah. From what I gather, it's just going to be like, let's just go combo crazy. Yeah. Somebody's going to take like 10 minutes now. So many things.
Get that with the trade routes expansion out there too.
Riley.
Wow, look at Riley go.
Oh, I got doubles again.
So sad.
All over. It's all over.
I'm going to revel in those 2 minutes I was ahead of you, Riley.
Right at the start.
I felt pretty good.
Just barely. Yeah. I didn't even see that you had broke 100. You were so off my radar.
I was. Oh wow! Wow! All right.
Just kidding.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious!
The trash talk.
I feel my lead very slowly dwindling, and it's just dwindling. It's dwindling.
I'm not used to being able to trash talk actually in this, like while playing board games, because I'm usually trying to play nice, like I'm teaching people the game. And when you're teaching people the game, it's like, you shouldn't trash talk because
no, for sure. Yeah.
That's hard. So it's kind of fun to let loose a little.
But we're all but like my wife is kind of like yours, Riley. Like she gets frustrated if she's not doing okay in the game.
Yeah.
And so I never hold back, but there are certain games that just don't work for her. And I can never trash talking is not an option. Like when it's her, me and Jen playing a game that we played a lot, like Castles of Burgundy, I might trash talk a little bit with 3 of them. But you're right. And it's a totally different experience. Like it's so fun when you can sit here and just like rib your opponents and not feel bad about it, not feel guilty when you're getting ahead of them, not feel guilty when you're playing your best, like it does make it a different experience, which is unfortunate, but we play where we can.
Yeah, exactly. And like I play very friendly when I teach a game, and even probably the first like 2 or 3 games, I'm still trying to win. I don't hold back. Right. But if there's something that, like we were playing Cascadia the other day, and I had just taught them, we were playing our second game of it, and it was like, oh, I'm gonna help you out here because like you're struggling here to see the move, and like even though this hurts me, this is the tile and the animal
for
you
sure.
want.
Yeah,
you
I
know,
mean, I
like,
always do that too. Again, like that's another fun thing about playing with people that know a game already, and you can just focus on your own strategy and not like feel like because when I'm teaching somebody a game, I kind of have to play everybody's game. You know, like I feel like I'm
exactly.
like, let me make sure they're not making a mistake. Let me make sure they're not hurting themselves. You know, give them a little tip here and there. You know, and so it's fun when I can completely ignore your guys' boards, except for when I'm like, how can I block them? Right.
Yeah. What dice do you have? Okay.
I think it's one of the problems, to be honest, with the hobby, like where there's so many great games. You know, you want to try stuff, and exploring games is fun, right? That's part of why we do this. But there's so many games that it's hard to get into these phases where you can just sit down and be competitive with a few people because you're constantly playing new games. You're playing with new people, you know, new games, and so you're kind of giving some things up in that situation. And so it's great when you can find a group that you get to play with repeatedly and you get to settle on a few games at least that are evergreens and keep coming back into it.
And that was our rationale too. Why when we pull a game off, we'll play it like 3 times.
Yeah.
Now, because like that third game is like amazing because now we've really settled in. We know the rules now. Don't really need to look up anything. Then we can be like, okay, what can I do to screw that other person over? And what I can really lean into a strategy now, or it's like, oh man, this is totally something completely different than the previous 2 games. It's amazing to feel, but like we said, those opportunities are getting far and few between.
Yeah.
Ryan, do you primarily play with just your wife, or do you have a group that you play with?
We just mainly like it's like 80%, 85% of my plays are with my wife, and then my other ones are going to be like online BGA, and there's not really no open gaming nights have opened up in Saskatoon yet again. Lots of the spaces at our stores currently, the stores haven't opened up the gaming spaces quite yet for the regular game. Like amazing stories, we used to game there Friday nights all the time, but right now the gaming space has turned into an extra storage area for all of their stuff, and they haven't cleaned it up.
I live in Arizona. It's the Wild West here. They like gaming spaces have been open since I moved here a year and a half ago, but I don't tend to go to a lot of those, but I've gone to a couple, and then like I've made a couple people, like I've met a couple people that I get together and play with regularly, but I still haven't found like I'm kind of in the casual mode with them where I can trash talk or I can like, kind of, goof off with them. I still feel like I'm playing very like, nice, not giving things away or anything, but I don't know. It just hasn't been the right people, I guess, to, kind of connect with in a way where I felt comfortable just ribbing them and stuff.
Yeah.
I joined a big group here locally right before the pandemic started. So actually getting to play with them didn't really happen until just recently. And I played Twilight Imperium with them, which is
I'm sorry.
Lot. It was something. It was cool though. It was a very trash talky group, but it was funny because they're really trash talky, but it was like everyone was still playing very nice. There were very few battles. People were not, smacking into each other. It was all just like trading and all kinds of stuff back and forth. Like, this is so weird because everyone's kind of like, they're willing to talk trash, but then they're like, I'm not actually going to hurt you. Like, it was really unusual, but I mean, it was good for me because I didn't know what the heck I was doing for a long time in that game. So
funny enough, my wife has been making some new friends and stuff, and she went to lunch with some the other day, and they were like, "Oh, have you heard of Castles of Burgundy?" And I had, gotten the permission to back the new one. Maybe, if I'm going to back it, no spoilers. And so she was like, "Oh, I have heard of that," and so now we're going to do a game night probably in the next week or two of playing one of the editions. I don't know which edition they have, but
yeah, I think I've messed up. So like since I moved here, again, things were closed down a little bit and we've been cautious about getting out too much. So I've only been here a little over a year and a half, and it's definitely been slow to meet more people and make friends. And my primary opportunities were like, if I'm going to go out and do something, I'm like, let me see if I can find a local gaming event. And so I've gone out and tried to meet people who don't. Of course, they're into games, but I haven't like super connected with people in those groups. Versus where I used to live, I basically everybody I gamed with, I brought into the hobby. It's like people I managed to connect with at parties or events or whatever, and then just became friends with them. I'm like, hey, you want to try this with me? And then some of them really got into gaming. And so I feel like I probably did it the wrong way. I should have been going and doing other things. And my wife already has brought a couple like gaming people into our group. Like one of her tennis friends is into games. And we just went
awesome.
Yeah. And so like her and her husband came over and we played, what did we play? Winds of Gale Crest.
Okay.
Libertalia with them. And that was fun, right? And then she, like another one of her friends that she met somewhere else. So she's meeting random people and bringing them in to play games. And I'm just meeting gamers that are just gamers.
Wherever you can get it, really, at this point, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, Riley. That's probably not a words to live by in general.
I just want to mention.
All right.
I just want to mention that I am no longer in the 4th turn order position. I ruined it. I ruined my achievement.
David, you're not only in 4th place in points, but now you're 4th place in turn order too.
Thanks for pointing all that out. I appreciate that.
Remember how I was saying that I only josh people that I like playing with? Just keep that in mind. I'm not being mean.
I know you say that. Oh God. Okay.
That is a tight race for second. That's a tight race for second.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I am really.
It's all changing this turn. Just wait.
I am really afraid of what's going to happen in this last round. I feel people are just going to catapult on me. Can he hold on, folks?
You have a pretty good lead at this point.
Yeah.
I think you're probably sitting pretty safe. We'll see.
Yeah,
I'm going to try my best to knock you off that post.
Yeah. I built up that, but you see, I think that's the strategy of board number 5 here, is you need to build up a big lead.
Yeah, you got to get all those early points because you're not going to get.
Yeah, you're not going to get big points in the end.
Yeah, that's right.
It is really cool to see everybody have a different board. I feel like every time I've played, at least 1 or 2 people have had a similar board or the same board.
Well, you know what's funny, Riley? In the original versions of the game, you couldn't play the same board unless you were playing just board 1. So like the back of a bunch of the boards were board 1, but then every other board was unique. So you literally can't play, if you're going to play off a board, but not play board 1, you can't play the same game.
Right.
But in this new version, they are releasing 4 versions of every single board so that you will be able to play with duplicates of any board you want to.
Yeah, I thought that was crazy.
Yeah,
that is really cool.
And it's pretty neat how they did it too, right? Because everyone just has their one dual layer player board, and then they got these little sheets the little hexagon sheets that are going to drop in there. So it's not taking up a ton of space. They just got this little stack of sheets to put in there. It's pretty neat.
And then they put the little acrylic overlay on top to lock the tiles into place.
Yeah.
I think somebody could make big money by making just a clear overlay type thing like that, or just like hexagon thing for like Cascadia, or like all sorts of games. Just make square ones that are standard dimensions, and I would happily buy that. And
there are third-party companies out there that make them for different sets of games. Like you can get like the overlays for like Terra Mystica, so that you can lock your you can lock your pieces into, or a very other set of the game. So
Terraforming Mars was a popular one that a lot of overlays were made for, because that was such a bad game to play on a flat piece of cardstock.
I guess technically what I'm saying isn't an overlay with Cascadia, like just a clear plastic piece that you can fit those pieces in so that they don't bump. You don't bump them. They just
You saw one for Cascadia, you said?
No, I'm saying they should do ones that are like just a clear, or like just a piece of plastic.
That would be hard because it's so many, because it can go any direction. Like that'd be a hard.
True.
That'd be a hard
you'd have to like move all your tiles.
Yeah. Or you got to get like modular ones. You got, every time you get to a certain edge, you got to add another one.
Oh, there you go.
Although I don't think we haven't had too much trouble with that one being bumped around. Have you been dealing with that? Like,
Yeah,
Your
because
cat's
we've played
doing
it
something?
probably like the three or no, it's me somehow. Like I'll just be talking or something, or like go and grab my drink, and all of a sudden I look down and it's just scattered. I'm like, what happened?
You are like a cat in many ways, Riley.
I am, yeah. I just start going at it like
Off the table. Who loves kitty?
Oh boy! All right,
Oh gosh, are we in the last round?
we're in the
Yeah.
final.
I just
Yeah.
noticed that.
Final round.
You want to do our summary?
So we got Mr. Al 166, Riley 127, Tim 125, David 121. It's a tight race for second. I couldn't help it.
Whoa. Okay. All right. Bring it on.
Oh gosh, I'm nervous.
You should be.
I'm very yeah, I know. Oh gosh, what do I got? 4 and a 1.
Oh yes. I did not think. Oh wait, it doesn't matter. What am I even thinking?
Everybody locked in for a moment there.
Well, this is very intense now. Everyone's staring at their screen all serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to this, right? Because you know that everything you're going to see the rest of the game is in this board. And so
Right.
now it's like, and what can I do with the dice that I just picked up?
Yeah.
Although with Riley going before me, I got plenty of time to think about it.
Ooh, okay, all right.
Dun,
Oh man.
Hey everybody, remember how many games Tim's played? Let's make sure to block him out. He needs building tiles. Let's just buy all those up.
Just don't do what Donnie don't does. For some reason, that's just a running thing in our game group, where it's like you're waiting for somebody to do their turn, and you're just like, "Don't do what Donnie don't does." That's just like our saying for some odd reason.
That is for some odd reason, for sure, Ryan.
Never
Oh,
claimed
gosh.
that we were regular folk.
I love all that alliteration. Ooh,
And everybody's anxiously awaiting what Tim does.
yeah. Hey, you know, if you had put that mine down earlier, then maybe you'd be in second place right now.
Yeah, and Tim just did not do anything at all interesting on that round, so you guys do not have to stress. My dice are not playing nice tonight.
The
The dice are not nice. That's what I say around here.
Yeah, that's
As
your
of right
slogan.
now. As of right
Isn't
now.
that our family plays games?
Our family? Do they have something like that?
Yeah,
The
dice
dice
ain't
ain't
nice.
nice or something like that. I think you're
Yeah.
right. Yeah, it's a good slogan.
Yeah.
Okay. That one. And then
It's getting a lot more intense here as
Yeah.
as we come down to the wire.
Yeah, it is.
grab a few more points before people.
You only
start
have a 37-point lead on me now, Ryan. Oh, not anymore. Never mind.
Yeah, it's-
Take that back. Take that back.
You're just about higher than my highest score playing. All right, what is like a high score or an average score?
Okay, so a decent score is
Yeah.
above 200. So you know you want to be striving for that. If you're under 200, you know you had a mediocre game. A good game is like 230 to 250,
Yeah.
and like my highest score is like 280. And
Oh, wow.
I have to wonder if I even scored that right because I've never seen anything quite that high before. But I've seen some like 260s, 270s.
Yeah.
So 280 is probably realistic in the right condition.
Right at the very beginning of the pandemic, we had a Bridge City Board Gamers like Castles of Burgundy tournament. We just did it on
Nice.
we did it on Yukata because
Okay.
board BGA didn't
Yeah.
have it yet. And I think the highest score in that tournament, a single game score, I think was like 272 or something like that, if I remember correctly. Because I played against that person, and they scored that ridiculous amount of points to like, yeah.
Yeah, I promise you, they didn't buy a lot of workers that game.
No, they were very efficient in what they did. Which brings me back. I think I need to run that again.
Was that a 2-player turn? Was it 2 players?
Yeah, it was 2-player, and we did double elimination.
Okay, I was gonna say I think that the highest scores I've seen have always been in 2-player games. Obviously, you're not fighting as much over like some of the scoring tiles and and stuff like that. So it tries to balance out, scale for points based on what you get for goods tiles, and of course, like the points on the bonus tiles. But I think you can score a little bit higher in a lower player count. So sub 200 is probably just fine here, guys.
Oh man,
if you get that, it's not mediocre.
Oh man, I went back.
I was reeling at your good scores. I'm like, are you kidding me? What? What? Like, how can?
I just fell back into 4th in turn order.
Nice. There you go, David.
Well,
get him where it hurts.
Yeah,
exactly. Got to get his excitement down a little.
Yeah, I may not win, but I did take that achievement away from him. So there's that.
Yeah, Riley got another bonus tile.
Damn, Riley.
Damn, Riley.
I am. Ooh, yeah. Gotta snap into a Slim Jim.
Dang it, man. Again, I've got nowhere to use this 3. Son of a bitch.
Oh my god.
I can't believe I'm gonna buy workers right now. This is crazy.
Wow. Second time this game, huh?
Yes. Like 4th. And then in the final round. This is
buy the workers.
Rough.
Buy the workers. Buy the workers. This final 3 turns. This is tense.
Yeah.
Speaks to the volume of the design, how like tight some of these scores have been. And everybody's been playing so soon.
I think you guys played many other Feld games? Stefan Feld games.
Oh, Riley is muted, I think.
No, it's not here, Riley.
This is the only one I haven't played, or that I've played. No wonder you weren't laughing at all my funny jokes. I had a car was driving by and the subwoofer was just like vibrating my walls.
Don't worry, Riley. We were still laughing at you. It's fine.
Thank you.
Like, so Riley's just making a bunch of funny faces right now. Somebody check on him. I think he's having a stroke.
Okay.
I have a good collection of Stefan Feld games on the shelf right down there somewhere.
What's your favorite?
Oh, Castles of Burgundy is leaps in above. I do really enjoy Bora Bora as well. It's got very Castles of Burgundy feel to it, but I just kind of like the combo nature of Castles of Burgundy like way better. Mm-hmm. Bora Bora is more of a style of like, hey, you got to pick an area of this game and you got to really focus on it. You're not going to be able to do everything in your limited amount of turns. And it's only Castles of Burgundy-ish because it also uses dice to select your actions.
I haven't played Bora Bora yet. I've played several other Stefan Felds and I've enjoyed all of them and kind of what they're doing, but nothing as much as Castles of Burgundy. I actually, honestly, believe it or not, I think my second favorite at this point is Castles of Tuscany, which a lot of people are not big fans of, but I really, really like playing that game. It gives me a lot of the same feeling. It's very, almost very different mechanisms, but the fun of playing each turn feels a lot like Castles of Burgundy to me.
I'm not even sure if I've played another one of his games. I feel like I might be forgetting something. I can't think what it would be. But
do you feel like there's a Stefan Feld, whatever you say it, Feld. There we go. My gosh, that was way off. Stephanie Fielders. Do you feel like he has a certain feel to all of his games, like some similarities, or?
Yeah, I would say so. Generally point salad, lots of different ways to get points. You're getting points for everything. Unique action selection mechanism usually, which I like exploring. That's one of my favorite things about his games. Not a lot of theme tied into the mechanisms. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of, I think, similar feels, but the ones that I played have mostly played pretty differently, even though they all have those common elements to it.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, and I think he's designed for different publishers, or different publishers have picked up different designs of his. And some of his other, like if he's now what is it called? Hall. I think there was like a Hall Publishing.
Okay.
He's got that's where he did like
that's Bonfire, right?
Aquasphere and Bonfire.
Yeah.
And those and Oracle of Delphi.
Mm-hmm.
Though those were like three games I feel like were very different and very non-traditional Stefan Feld style designs.
The styles were, I mean, the fact that there was some theme on them was definitely different. Although I played Bonfire and it had it felt pretty similar, I think, to a lot of these as far as the mechanisms,
Those ones were definitely, well, at least Bonfire and Aquasphere are definitely like his more complex. Like the strategy is more complex in those games. Not necessarily how to play the game is not complex, but the strategy was much more involved.
Yeah, I've got Bonfire, but I haven't. It's one of the many games on my shelf of shame. So I need to I started kind of reading. I'm like, what's happening in this game?
It's a fun game, but there is a lot of stuff going on, and it doesn't. Some of it's not super intuitive, I think. So it's not easy to get your head wrapped around.
I probably just need to lay it out and try to walk myself through it because reading, I'm just like, I don't know,
that always helps for me. Yeah, if I have the components in front of me and then kind of read through the setup and then start to read through the rules, or then after it's set up, then watch a how to play video. Then I feel really get a good grasp on it.
Yes. Oh boy, we're getting down to the nitty gritty.
Okay. Whoops, hold on.
Do. This game has felt so different for me. I don't think I've ever been at the bottom of the turn order so much.
Okay.
For so much for the whole game.
That's okay. I haven't been at the bottom of the store in this game for a long time, so I feel you.
I don't know. I'm looking at your yellow tiles, and I think you're gonna be just.
Oh, I should look at.
It's not gonna make up for enough. If I can't close out these browns, I will not be able to catch up.
He needs 4 more browns. He's got 2 in the hole.
Yeah, I'll be able to get them as long as the dice aren't terrible.
Yeah.
Well, they'll probably be terrible.
No, my luck's got to turn around at some point. Let's start now.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, he's got some silver too, so we can get some brown buildings from the middle there.
And I have some workers now, so at least I should be okay. But there were a few other things I would have liked to get done this round other than just the brown tiles, and I don't think I'm going to be able to do it.
So is Feld the favorite designer for any of you? No.
This is one of my favorite games, but I am, although I've liked his other games, there's none of his other games would I consider like a favorite of all time. So I definitely wouldn't rank it my favorite. But it's interesting. I was having this conversation with my crew recently, and the fact is that there is not a single designer that has hit for me every time. And so it's hard for me to name a favorite designer because I definitely can name favorite games, but I can't say that like, oh yeah, this designer is always spot on for me.
That's so true.
I think I'm not totally sure if I'd label them as my favorite designer necessarily, but Nikki Valens, I think when we did our top 50, had like 5 games in my top 10 or something like that. So I mean, that's pretty. I could be wrong. Or 3, multiple games regardless. And
she did like Mansions of Madness, or they did Mansions of Madness, right? And
and Legacy of Dragonholt, Rookie Circuits, just good stuff. Really, a lot of like heavily narrative stuff for the most part. Although Quirky Circuits isn't, but that's a fantastic little game.
And I apologize. I said she initially. I meant they though.
They.
But yeah, I haven't actually played any of their games. I don't think I've played any of them. Intrigued by them, but like I said, I think Mansions of Madness to me, it might be a great game, but I'm nervous that it wouldn't be a good fit for me. I feel like I'd spend a few hours playing something that wouldn't be a lot of fun. For my taste. But I'm interested in playing. It's like Dragonholt for sure.
Yeah, it's cool. It's really more. It's very, very light rules. It's really like a choose your own adventure with a little bit extra thrown in, but it's cool though. It's fun. So
it doesn't seem like your type of jam, Tim.
I don't think it will be, and that's why I'm like I don't want to go in there and just feel bad about it. Like it reminds when I've read about it or heard about it, it reminds me so much of Betrayal at House on the Hill, and it may be much better, it may be much different than that, but I just absolutely hate Betrayal at House on the Hill. Like that is a game that is not a fun experience at all for me. And so I feel like it's going to be similar.
Yeah. And at least it doesn't have the situation where the game can just utterly not work. You know what I mean? Which is nice. But yeah. Since you don't like co-ops and all that, it's I don't think it'd win you over necessarily. I'd like to say otherwise, but
Oof.
I really enjoy Corey Kineska, his designs.
Oh yeah,
he's like the Star Wars Rebellion is like one of my favorite games of like all time, and we had a chance to talk with him on Cardboard Conjecture, which was like eye opening. It was like I went in like fanboy mode, like style. Like I don't even think I said like 2 words the entire freaking interview. I was just like, I'm just absorbing everything that this guy is saying. And just like his level of like intellect into his design process. I really enjoy his games.
Yeah,
they're a little bit too like edge rule case fiddly, like a little long running for me. The ones that I played, but cool designs. Like Rebellion is a very cool design. It's
the first time that we actually played Rebellion without having to like look up the rules, it was like an amazing experience.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? It takes a couple of games to get there, but
still took us like 3 hours to play, and we weren't even looking up the rules.
I can imagine. Like I don't know. Riley did, I thought, a really great interview with Eric Lang, and I don't know if I could, because he's another one. I have not played all of Eric Lang's stuff, but he has not done me wrong so far, and like I don't even know.
Marvel United.
I can just be like, listen,
son of a gun.
Okay,
he got it in here.
Honestly, if it weren't for that one game, I would probably have. I mean, I've loved his other games that I've played. So
can we just have the conversation with people with good taste in games, and we'll just yeah, I mean, he probably does have something that I would. I mean, he has a lot of games, and I certainly haven't played them all, but because he has impressed me so much, like I don't know if I could have had such like an easy conversation as Riley did with him. I'd have been like, just talk about the game. Just keep talking. I don't need to say anything. You talk. Like
his designs are super smart. I honestly, I would probably have to put him way up there for me. Like Blood Rage is just an amazing game, and Ankh blew me away. Like I loved the experience of Ankh. So I'd like to see. I'm trying to think if I played anything that he's done that's kind of like a true Euro. Like those have Euro elements in it, but I'd kind of like to see what he would do with like kind of a more just straight on Euro without conflict in it. Be kind of interesting.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
I'm sure you would be able to talk to him just fine. That's what I've been finding. I get really, really nervous. And then even before we're recording, both Elizabeth Hargrave and him, just so friendly. Like instantly you feel like you're pals. And I think they've, interacted with enough fans that they know how to interact with people, you know, and know how to kind of
I'm
disarm
sure,
them.
I'm sure.
So
Yeah, I bet.
you'd be surprised. Yeah, I have always been famously bad at talking to celebrities, so I've been happy that I've been able to, I haven't sounded too much like a fool.
It almost sounded like a name drop. That was like a humble brag. Like, oh man, all the time when I talk to celebrities, I'm really have a rough time at it.
I did run into the Manu Bennett. I don't know if you've seen the like Arrow TV show.
Which character?
Oh,
Deathstroke.
okay.
I ran into him at Harmon's. Just like we went for a late night snack, and he was there shopping with his dentist.
Okay, that's it. There's a lot of interesting stuff to take apart there.
Tell me about the. Yeah, I was gonna say, tell me about the dentist.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. I was like, hey, what are you doing here in Utah? And he's just like, oh, I'm just here like getting some dental work done. And he like points at the guy. He's like, this is my dentist. The guy waves. I was just like, what? This has got to be one of the weirdest. Like, this can't be the full story. This isn't why you're here.
Odd.
It was odd. Yeah.
I haven't kept up
nice
with Arrow, but that was a fun show. I watched the first few seasons. That had a lot of fun.
It was. Yeah. I did watch all of it. I think it had its ups and downs, but I liked the overall feel of it.
Yeah. Most of those shows, like I liked it first, and at some point I fell off for one reason or another. Even if I still liked them, for some reason I kind of just fell away from it. The one that I had no expectation for and I really ended up enjoying was what is it? Heroes of Tomorrow. The one where they're like traveling through time. I'm not getting the name right, but I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work at all. Like, it's the one I was least interested in, and then I was watching. I was like, this is a fun show. It's good.
Like one of the best ones.
That was one of the ones with all the side characters from like Arrow and Flash and stuff like that. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never watched that either. I kind of just I was watching Flash and Supergirl and Arrow and all those kind of DC shows. And then about the time that Heroes came out, for some reason, I think I got caught up with a couple other shows and just fell off and never finished them.
Yeah. It's hard to go back and catch up when there's like 5 or 6 of those shows.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the final turn here.
This is the final set of dice.
Oh, is this the last turn?
This is the last turn for everybody. So everybody start doing the math.
So on my screen it says Rolliner is playing a turn. This player's not playing. What can I do? Let's click that.
Report him.
Get on it, Raleigh, for God's sake.
I am definitely playing. All right, everybody.
The 2 sweetest words in the English language is default.
This yellow tile 15 that's in the middle, this was actually nerfed in the second edition, which is that they're using the nerf rules on it, but it used to be 3 points per color of tile that you sell,
and now it's 2.
Yeah, it was the only tile in the game that could get you 18 points with one tile. Now you can, the only way you can do that with the other tech tiles is by, like in my case, I could actually have more than 3 of a type of a building on the board, I think, but that's pretty hard to do.
All right, only 2
David,
points ahead.
You're taking second place now.
Oh my gosh, Jeez. Riley, what did you do?
Wow,
I finished all of my buildings.
Jumped up to 195.
I tried to warn you guys.
And you got bonus. Oh, and you've got bonuses.
I've got lots of bonus points.
You got bonuses upon bonuses.
I will definitely be breaking 200.
Oh, I think Riley might. Oh no, what can I do? I have to math out my turn now, don't I?
I shouldn't have said anything. You were feeling a little comfortable, weren't you?
No, I wasn't. I haven't felt comfortable at all. I feel like somebody was gonna like come and just like jump right at the very end, and I feel like that might actually happen. Now that I see a number like flash up.
Yeah.
I just.
All right.
I just don't.
You took it, David. Darn it. That was the only thing I could do useful with that 2 I had. Son
What
of a
was it you
gun.
took? Oh yeah, I can see it right there.
In fact, I can't believe this. I think I'm going to have to get workers.
Oh no.
Oh, no,
What?
again.
Yeah,
Again.
because I don't have a 5 to place this last.
Oh, that's
tile up
right.
Oh,
there.
dang.
Unbelievable. Because I could have at least played these cows if I didn't have to do that. So I guess it doesn't matter. You took that tactile. Man, this was rough. Okay, that's all right. I'm gonna do it. Let's do it. Let's waste this 2.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
But that means you still get to finish your big points, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna hurt.
Let me go back and look at Ryan's dice and see what he can do here. Yep, I took the right one. Okay.
Ouch.
Only got up to 179. Jeez. There
Yeah,
was
but you've got some yellows.
There's so many things I could have. Just a couple more good dice. I could have done pretty well with a couple spots here. It was rough.
No, Riley's got more bonus points than me. He currently has more bonus points than me.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh. What can I do? I'm sorry, folks. This is the very last turn. And I gotta, how do I math this?
Math teacher mode.
Yeah,
Initiating math teacher mode.
It's that Zach Galifianakis has got all the formulas swirling around my brain right now.
And then you're just going to spend both of your dice to buy workers.
Oh, that'd be great.
That's an extra 2 points.
Sometimes that's all you can do in the last round.
That's just an extra 2 points. Although I can get an extra 4 points by selling that. I can get some workers and then sell that 4 tile. Does that work out? I think I still come out net same. Oh,
Yeah,
dear folks.
that's a tough spot.
Whatever, I'll go with it. It's probably the wrong move.
It is.
Workers. And then these workers sell.
What you needed to do was roll better.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
I think I made
better,
it.
right?
Okay, here we go.
Times too bad.
I'm hitting confirm turn. And we're gonna get the final scores here.
Drum roll.
Drum roll.
I don't want to hit my desk. Oh, there we go.
Updating game situation. The game. Oh,
Whoa.
points are going up.
Oh, Riley.
Whoa.
Nice game, Riley.
Whoa.
Killed it.
I called this
Holy.
thing from the beginning.
Yes,
You did have a
Yeah,
buttload of
Who's ahead?
points.
Riley's gonna come from behind and win. I told
Riley
you
had a buttload of bonus points.
Yeah, no, great move, Riley.
Great
for
game,
the first
Riley.
Turn, you took those two tech tiles early on, which were with pretty good buildings. I was like, oh, my straight is not gonna work.
I love those yellow tiles. If I can get good yellow tiles up front, then that like forms my strategy.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's so
I
hard
think-
because they don't do anything for you in game, like the point ones don't. But
Yeah.
it gives you a goal. It kind of gives you a focus to try to pick up specific tiles, which is
Exactly.
Yeah, for all my small point Riley had way more points on regions than me. He had went 130 and I had 119 points on regions.
So look at percentage of doubles rolled. 20%.
And then we were all
20% of my dice were doubles.
Wow.
Wow, that's
And
crazy.
then 16,
Wait,
16,
crazy.
16.
Thinking
Wow.
time. So that's
Yeah,
So
you only
look,
had
guys.
27 minutes of thinking time. What qualifies as thinking time?
That's when it's waiting for you to take your turn.
Yeah.
Just okay, when it's your turn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, if they counted when I was thinking on your turn, that'd be pretty amazing. That'd be impressive.
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't know if it was like maybe if you weren't clicking on things, like I don't know.
Oh man. I'm just
I
looking
don't know
at
why
what.
mine is high. I felt like I wasn't thinking about it at all.
I'm actually surprised though. So
What happened here?
we all took some worker actions. We all took 4 worker actions this game.
Yeah.
Which I was surprised by.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sold goods. Number of tiles taken. This is actually pretty interesting. I've never actually looked at things.
Yeah,
like
I haven't
this.
either. This is
Yeah.
fascinating.
Number of place tile actions, 30 for Riley. So he got a couple more tiles placed out than we did in the game.
That's because I love shooting for combos. Like any chance I can take to like combo things, I take it.
And you got bonus tiles and yellow tiles. Yeah.
Yeah, number of free actions, I had 13, 3 more than anyone else.
Oh wow.
Mr. O had 36 points in animals.
So what's points with regions?
That's a good. I don't know exactly what that's scoring. I'm guessing it has to do with just how many points you get for filling out a region section.
Yeah.
So that'd be
Oh.
like
that makes sense.
the round bonus plus the region bonus.
Yeah. Huh. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Good game, you guys.
This
And
That
was
is
very-
really
amazing.
fun to
very
see that
competitive.
breakdown. Yeah.
This is amazing.
That's fun.
Huh.
All right. I want my crown.
Right? Do you have a Burger King near you? Get it like
Yeah,
one
I
of those little
do. Yes.
It's waiting for you there, Riley. Go get it.
I need to. Oh, I've spaced what I was saying. Oh my goodness. Oh, so the theme of it, right, is that I'm a prince. So now you all are.
Well, apparently you're the
sub-kingdoms?
most successful prince, and now you're going to be the king of the region or the
Yeah.
kingdom
Oh.
instead of just your little duchy. I think that's
So we're
the
all
point.
brothers.
I guess, yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
We'll go with it.
I mean-
We can go with that.
Sounds good.
And
Are
now
there-
I'm the
is there
favorite
another way for
brother.
princes? I think that's how monarchy works, but
Yeah.
You know, I didn't want the responsibility of the kingdom anyway, so I'm pretty happy it's Riley instead. That's fine.
we all do look a lot alike, so
Almost identical.
Almost. Almost. Well, folks, this was an amazing experience, and I can't wait to do it again. We're going to chat off screen after this, because I'm sure we're all going to be down for doing this again, probably like in a month's time or something like that. Because I don't know, I had a blast just having the conversation with everybody. The conversations were so good.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the game, the
yeah.
gameplay is second. This was amazing.
well, this game it was for sure since I didn't win. No, no I'm kidding. Yeah, no, 100%. That was
Hey,
a blast against.
We
you know,
didn't even gang up on you.
No,
there was a lot of talk about that. No, I'm
There was talk about it, but I think only once did I look at your dice and think,
I
okay,
wasn't doing that.
you've
at
got
all.
this. I'm going to try and block you. It didn't even work. You did so. Like,
I
you
did so
took
bad
your
on my
turn
own.
so fast. Yeah,
Right.
That's what it was.
So
Yeah, I thought
so
it was really
good.
cool.
yeah, and it worked well. I think. I didn't have any tech issues on my side. My computer's
Yeah.
running a little hot, but that's okay. Pretty sure it's gonna burn a hole in my table, but that's okay.
So just a few more days to back the new deluxe version of Castles of Burgundy. So one more play here. What do you guys think? Are you gonna drop your backing? Are you gonna back it?
I'm backing it for sure. Yeah. In fact, my original plan was to go in at. I did want the castle miniatures. I was like, well, I'll do that, and then maybe I'll upgrade to the Pledge Commander. Came out, and then when I went to actually back it, my hand slipped, and I picked the big one. So completely an accident, and because I you know, obviously I'm not the master of this game that some of you are, but I really like the game a lot. I'm like, this is a game that like I would really want to have the blinged out version. I think if I could, and I think I'll always be a little sad inside not having the prettiest possible one. So we'll see when it gets close or to the day if I can still think I can shell out that money. But at least for now, I'm on the high end of this one because I just think it's so pretty. Gotta get it.
Yeah, I was calling it early that there were going to be more miniatures because it just made sense.
Yeah.
And that might push me. I pledged at the lowest level because I was like, you know, who needs the castles? But then there's like the little upgraded, even the turn order tokens are castles that'll stack on top of each other. And the score tracker, right? Those are, you know, figures.
instead of
busts.
standees.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so that is kind of pulling me towards there. And at that point, I want the acrylic token already. So why not just upgrade and get the sun drop? So I'm actually leaning more and more towards upgrading to that because I'm definitely doing the acrylic tokens or the tiles. Yeah, that just, why wouldn't you?
Yeah. And somebody had mentioned to me too that the acrylic tokens for the knowledge tiles aren't going to have the explanations on the back of the acrylic tile. Like on the knowledge tiles, the acrylic ones aren't going to have the explanation.
Are they going to do them dual-sided or something, or what? Why are they doing that?
I don't know. Like somebody commented on one of my videos, and then I had found Awakened Realms had said something along the lines that for something with the acrylic, doing the acrylic, weren't going to be able to do the explanation, like the text on the backside of the knowledge tile.
That's a nice feature. For me at this point, it's not necessary because I can explain what all of them do without the iconography, but I definitely think that's a nice bonus for someone playing this game for the first time or playing it for the first few times.
They do have the reference sheet.
Yeah,
they're going to have a reference.
They do have
I think I saw that it was an A4 size paper, so it's not a small reference sheet. But
yeah, that'll be nice. So what about you, Ryan? You thinking back in it?
I am currently on the classic one. I'm not going to get the miniatures. I could probably be persuaded. I don't know, but I
do it.
Right now, do it. Right now, I'm doing the king. Yeah, I'm doing the classic right now with the acrylic tile upgrade currently, which I bet you if I could just spend some extra money, I could probably justify the royal pledge. But I don't know. I didn't find that that the neoprene mat was really wasn't really a necessary add-on. Yeah. It was a kind of a weird one because, I always find neoprene's like more for cards and picking up cards and sliding cards and stuff like that. This one's tiles. It's always tiles.
So before they announced more and more miniatures, I was thinking like if the royal pledge was the sun drop, the acrylic tokens, and no playmat, probably even for the same price, I would have done it. But I was just like, that playmat seems completely useless. Having not played the physical game, but if I'm going to have acrylic tokens, those are going to pick up really nice. I just don't understand what the point of a neoprene mat for this game is.
That's probably totally true. I agree. I definitely wouldn't have paid extra for the neoprene mat. So I am going to back it. This is one of my favorite games of all time. Tons of plays. My local group that plays the most with me, it's one of their favorite games. So this will continue to get played for years. And the original Castles of Burgundy, and even more so with the 20th anniversary edition, has some of the worst graphic design and user experience and art that you can find in a board game. And that's such a shame. So it was really a no-brainer for me that I was going to get this as soon as Awakened Realms says that they're going to put a nicer production on it. And the tiles are 20% larger and they're more readable, and all of that stuff alone, I absolutely was going to back it. I ended up doing the all-in pledge mainly because this game totally doesn't need minis, and in fact they're going to get in the way. I guarantee it. You're going to be looking around those minis to see what spots are open, and I have a feeling that after playing a couple times with my regular group, they're going to be annoyed by them and we'll switch back to the tiles for the castles. Aside from that, I mean, even you're pulling a castle tile off the board and then you swap it out with your mini. So it's even a little bit fiddly, a little awkward to do that. So the miniatures are so unnecessary. And I honestly would have been completely happy and fine if they had not included that as a component in this game. I do like the player markers as miniatures instead of standees. I really don't like cardboard standees. I really, for the most part, that's a pretty big turnoff for me. So I'm glad that that's an option. But the main reason I went with the all-in is because I definitely want the acrylic tiles. And, once you're paying for the base plus the acrylic tiles, it's not that far off from then also getting the minis when you want to use them as a showcase. And the sun drop minis, of course, are going to look a little bit nicer. And then the mat will be a nice add-on. So why not? It's one of my favorite games. I can splurge on this one, I think. So yeah, I went all in on it. I could actually see, like, I'm still on the fence like that. It just feels a little bit wasteful to go in on the all in because the sun drop minis in general are just a waste. but it's like $20 more, and the box is made to fit all this stuff perfectly. And so it'll just feel like a more complete package, and it'll be a nice luxury item for my collection since I love it so much.
Is it even 20? I think it might be like 15.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not much. It's not a big difference once you get the acrylic tiles added in.
And gosh darn it, we all need to we all deserve nice things.
That's right.
Oh, sorry. What did you say about the mat, David?
You can roll it up and use as lower back support when you're sitting. It's not useless, Riley.
You're right. You're right.
Posture, your back. Come on, man.
Oh, and I do like a really nice mat. Like those neoprene mats are great, and you'll feel it a little bit here, right? You're not scratching your fingers across cardboard while you're picking things up. But agreed. It's not necessary. It's just a nice luxury feature.
I never thought I would ever complain about a neoprene mat because I love them. Like I felt like every game should have them, but that's because I think cards. But
yeah. As I look in the back corner here of about 20 play mats all rolled up, and they're
I've only bought play mats for 2 games so far, and one of the games I sold, so I don't even have that one anymore. The other game I want to sell, I don't even want it. So I don't have a good record with neoprene mats. Oh, did you guys hear if that mat's supposed to fit in the box?
I was just about to ask that.
I have
not seen the information about it.
So
that's a shame.
I'm curious what will the stretch goal? I don't know. Another thing, this campaign, why are they calling them stretch goals? They're just reveals. Yeah. But will that box also be smaller, or if I get the standard one, will there just be these empty slots where there aren't castles?
They answered that question on the campaign, but I don't remember what the answer was on it. So I'm sure you can. I can't answer that, but I'm sure you can find it. You know what I was thinking though? I bet the neoprene mat, that is not a fold. I don't think you're going to have to fold that board to fit it in the box because it's not a huge board. I don't think. At least on the old one, you didn't. So I wonder if it'll just fit flat right on top of the board. So it might just fit right in the box, which would be nice.
That would be really nice. Yeah, I'm looking at the product description right now, and it doesn't say anything.
Well, very cool. Sounds like we're all going to be proud owners of Deluxe Castles of Burgundy in somewhere around a year to 2 years.
Yeah,
exactly. 5 days left, folks. 5 days left.
Oh, geez.
As of
I don't
this,
get sick of it this time.
as of this video, this is 5 days left. Cool. Well, thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me this evening. For this it was a great game. Was second for me. The conversation amongst friends, that was the real highlight of the night.
For sure.
Everything
I was
that.
so glad chat with all you guys at once. That was fun.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks so much for putting this together, and it was a blast. You rock.
We'll coordinate again in the future. This will happen again.
Perfect.
I got a feeling that it'll happen again.
Nice.
Unless if I get a 1-star rating on this video and say, wow, please get some better guests.
I was going to say, you all rock. 1 star, bad people.
And on that note, go find Riley's podcast and give him some love because he got a 1-star rating lately. Which was totally unjustified.
But it's only because he's a bad person.
It's because he's a bad person. Yes.
Because I'm a knowingly bad person.
Right. Wake up, Riley. You gotta wake up, they said. I don't even know what that means anymore.
I don't know either.
Depends on which side you're on.
Yeah, for real.
Cool. Well, let's do one last final take on who you folks are and where people can find you. And of course, I should have said this at the very top of the video, but I'll have descriptions to everybody's content in the description. I guess that's what they call it.
You'll have links in the description.
I'm so bad at this YouTube thing. This is horrible. Okay, folks take.
That's why I don't do live, is because I can do retakes. Just edit it and sound like I'm good.
Yeah, I'll just have really choppy audio. I'll just nope, don't like that. Don't like that. Okay, let's start at the top. Do you guys remember what order you were in before?
Yeah, Tim,
Riley, me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm Tim from Board Game Hot Takes, where we give our immediate reactions to the hottest board games just minutes after playing them. Yeah, you can find us on any podcast platform, Board Game Hot Takes, and BG_Hot Takes on Twitter. Come chat with us, hang out, and we'll even play games with you on Board Game Arena.
And I'm Riley with the Board Game Community Show. I do casual conversations with people throughout the community.
I was hoping you were going to sing that, Riley.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They could be designers or streamers, YouTubers, podcasters, publishers, whatever.
That song gets in my head every dang time I listen to yours. It is so catchy. Oh
Thanks. It was a temporary thing, and now I'm just like, it has to stay. I can't get rid of it.
I would miss
I seriously sing along with it.
I do too, every single time. And I'm usually on headphones, like running down the street, and I'm just like belting out the Board Game Community Show.
I just need to make a Board Game Community Show album where it's just a single. It's a
single. Platinum.
Yeah.
Right on. Okay, so I'm David from the All Games New and Old YouTube channel. We do reviews, unboxings, other stuff. Awful guests. Unless these guys are on, then I'm switching to good guests, at least while they're on. But it's fun. Come check it out. And if you hate it, I don't know, keep it to yourself. I don't want to hear about it. If you want to connect with me on Twitter, it's All Games New and Old. And there's also a Facebook group. So go there because I'm the only one who talks there. There's a bunch of people there and no one talks except for me. And that's not why I made that group. So come talk, please.
Oh, is it a group? I thought I was just following your page and you were talking. And so I would comment on things.
No, you can post whatever. Well, not whatever you like, Riley.
Yeah, not me.
Yeah,
not you
know how you are,
some left views there.
Yeah, controversial.
No, please come tell us what you're playing or whatever. I'd love to get into more discussions other than just ones that I start. So,
and seriously, nobody commits to their humor in the board game, pod or like video space like David does. So you got to check out his videos. It's totally worth it.
Yeah,
it's a lot of.
It's because I've been nerdy for so long that I don't have shame anymore. So it makes it easy.
Right on. And I've been Ryan, Mr. L's Gaming Rants and Reviews. This was a playthrough. If you're really enjoying this channel, please consider subscribing. Hit the notification bell so that new videos come out. You get notified about them. I think that's how it works. And yeah, go check out these awesome people. They're making amazing content. And everybody should show everybody some love in this space. There's no room for hate in this world. Everybody just go love everybody. There you go. There's my parting words of wisdom. right boom boom, peace dude. All right, folks. Okay, I'm gonna officially close this video. I'm gonna say this playthrough is officially over.
Take care, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.